The following is a special sports presentation of UWW TV.
Good evening and welcome to Conover Studio on the campus of UW-Whitewater. You're watching Warhawk Sports Wednesday live on UWW TV. Today we bring you men's basketball featuring the UW-Whitewater Warhawks hosting the UW-Stevens Pointers in a WEAC conference matchup. I'm Matt Bruzis and I'm joined by Austin Dowell and Sam Matheny. Our job for the next 30 minutes is to take you through the pregame festivities leading right up to tip-off where Colby Brault, Parker Resner, Corey Moen, and Hanson McIlvain are standing by. Guys, let's get our show started by catching up with how the Warhawks fared in their last game against UW La Crosse, and they had a 65-63 thriller where Bailey Cale hit a knockdown jumper in the final possession, and where James Fox then blocked the UW La Crosse's game-tying shot. And Bailey Cale also had 18 points, with Briante Hunt also adding 17 points and 10 boards. Austin, what'd you make of that game?
That was a great game for the Warhawks on both sides of the ball. What stood out to me is that they had 47% shooting, but more importantly, they're not very good on the defensive side of the ball usually, but they held La Crosse at 37%. And Bailey Cale had a game, like you said, with 18 points, but more importantly, those four assists. He's second in the WEAC in assists, and I think it's going to be key for him today to get more assists.
And like you were mentioning earlier, James Burke with that headlining block to end the game there. The late game heroics was just the complete story for the Warhawks this last game. You could slap it on a newspaper and you can call it golden. I mean, we forced the Eagles to throw up 33-point shots and only to make 10 of them. So when you have a team shooting 33-point shots in a game and only making a third of those shots, you know something's going well on the offense and defensive end.
Yeah, and I think that also what also played in the Whitewater hands, what you're saying is they were able to force up La Crosse to miss those shots. But what if La Crosse is able to knock down those shots? It's a completely different story. It's a
big different story. I think it's going to be important for the Warhawks, especially in that game, to keep their defense up. Like the three-point percentage that's worth more than 1 point. It's going to be big for that team to do that. And I think going into today's game, keeping the presence inside is going to be big with Riley Jensen and the newly found Briante Hunt.
Yeah, and speaking of Briante Hunt, he played in his third game of the season. So NCAA just had him eligible for the last 3 games, and this is his 4th game tonight. This is actually his 3rd start since he's coming off from one of the community colleges that he was formerly at. So, I mean, since he's been in the starting lineup, like, what are your odds of transferring to a school and after 1 collegiate game, you're able to start 2? I mean, he had a double-double. He had 4 3-pointers, too, so he did very well in that game. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do.
So now with Briante Hunt and obviously James Burke getting quality minutes, Riley Jensen getting quality minutes, I think now when you look ahead to who they're playing, River Falls, Platteville, and Eau Claire, you really think that Whitewater has a chance because no one team is really pulling away. So I think that, and obviously the River Falls game is obviously huge because they're a game back of them in the standings.
Yeah, I think that's going to be very big. I think the most important game is going to be that River Falls game, but the next one is going to be that game against Platteville because they're the number 1 in the WEAC. I think it's going to be important to get a win against a big team.
And I'm looking at that away game against Oshkosh. Oshkosh is one of our biggest rivals. We know that. And Oshkosh, going into their house and being able to take care of business, we saw the Lady Hawks actually not fare as well in their only conference loss this season against Oshkosh. But you know, Oshkosh is just a very overall sound team, and we just got to look out for that. And I think if we just use our bench the way we have, it'll fare well for us.
I think it also contributes to the Whitewater-Oshkosh rivalry, too. But I also think if you look at the WEAC standings here, I think with Whitewater now getting that win versus La Crosse, I think you throw out all those other losses and you now look forward to you actually have a chance of making a WEAC tournament.
I agree with you, especially with getting Briante Hunt back. I think that's going to be important, especially with that River Falls on the schedule. They can easily make a splash. And I think what's biggest to me was Eau Claire at 4-4. They are 2 games away from either being first in the conference, and they're 2 games away from not even making the WEAC conference at all.
So we will now, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll talk more Warhawk men's basketball, including some of the key players to the success in the second half of the season. Stay tuned. This is Warhawk Sports Wednesday, live on UWW TV.
Warhawks know what it takes to become champions. At the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, our student athletes pursue excellence with a determination that inspires everyone on campus. Warhawks are smart. Warhawks are strong. Warhawks value service. We prepare our student athletes for life after college. The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Come be part of the Warhawk family.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Not only providing on-air learning opportunities for broadcast journalists and electronic media production students,
but educating and entertaining our audiences with award-winning news, live sports coverage, original programming,
as well as dedicating the mission to developing creative collaborations throughout campus.
For more information, visit our website, our 24/7 stream, and like us on Facebook.
Check us out because you gotta see what's on UWW-TV.
UW Whitewater Athletics, a relentless pursuit of excellence across 22 sports, powered by a tradition of success. 20 national championships, 17 since 2002. 61 individual national titles. 24 National Athletes of the Year. 616 All-Americans. 115 Conference Scholar Athletes of the Year. 1,500 community service hours annually. Be a part of the tradition and join the Warhawk family.
Welcome back to Warhawk Sports Wednesday. I'm Matt Bruzis along with Austin Dottle and Sam Matheny. We'll take you out to the gym shortly, but first let's talk the Warhawks opponent today, UW Stevens Point. And the Pointers now hold a record of 13-6 and 5-3 in the conference. They have wins against Platteville by 2, and they also have losses to Eau Claire by 1. So Sam, what do you make of the Stevens Point season so far?
Well, they're 2-1 against ranked opponents. They have a pretty difficult schedule coming up. To end the season, they have 3 out of the last 4 games coming at home. They have to play Platteville, La Crosse, and Oshkosh. But then going to Stout might be a little bit easier for them as an away game. But, I mean, those 3 critical home games is what's going to drive this team to see if they can make it into the postseason.
Yeah, and against River Falls, their latest game, they won by 2 points, and that was a big game. What I noticed in this game is that Stevens Point likes to play their starters a lot, and they even played their top 3 players over 35 minutes in Erke, Bublitz, and Nelson. And looking at that, I think they were also the top scorers of the team. They came out with 48 of the 61 points, and I think you got to look out for Erke with his 5 offensive rebounds. I think that could be a key point in today's game.
Yeah, Matt, and one thing I also wanted to show out was the Stevens Point Pointers have 4 players in double-digit scoring. So like you said, Austin, a lot of those players, they're coming from their starting group. I think what is going to be a little bit of trouble for the pointers today is they're going to have to be able to use their bench. The Warhawks recently have been able to use their bench as well, very well to their advantage. And if we can tire out the Stevens Point Pointers starting lineup, I think that could fare well for us.
Yeah, Stevens Point actually does have 4 players in the top 25 in scoring in the WEAC, and that's headlined by Ethan Bubitz, who's number 4 is scoring in the WEAC at over 17 points per game. Who are some of the other key players to watch for?
My key player of this game is going to be Nelson Garrett. He's having a great season so far. He's 24th. He's one of those 3 players. He's 24th with 10 points per game. But he just recently got moved to the starting lineup when WEAC play started. And he even scored 24 points in this last game, and he was 4-7 from 3. So I think he's going to be a key player in today's game from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and for me, I have Blake Erke. He leads the team in steals, rebounds, assists, and field goal percentage. He's a complete senior forward. He reminds me of a lot of good players when it comes to the end of their season. So, it's dream senior season for him.
We're going to take another short break, but when we come back, we'll talk more Warhawk basketball, including what's happening on the women's side so far this season. Stay tuned. This is Warhawk Sports Wednesday, live on UWW TV.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school. It's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Come on!
Stepped it anyways. Oh, she caught that off, and they're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes! Yes!
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
Video One Media Services provides accomplished students the opportunity to enhance their college experience by working with real-world clients. In addition, we provide clients local and affordable video options to better enhance their media needs. For more information on how Video One Media Services can help you with your next media project, email or call our office at 262-472-5659.
Welcome back to Warhawk Sports Wednesday. We'll get you out to the Jim Shirley for the UW Whitewater Warhawks game against UW Stevens Point. But first, let's take a look how the women's program is doing so far. And they have an overall record of 17-2 with a WEAC conference record of 7-1. And they have upcoming games against Point, River Falls, and Platteville. Austin, how do they keep the momentum going and they stay successful against these teams and they don't have an upset like Oshkosh did?
I think you just can't stay cocky because we saw that against Platteville and against Oshkosh in the first half against Platteville. But I think they just got to keep doing what they're doing because I think they're defensively, they are one of the best teams in the country. I think they can face off against any offense. And I think if they get an offense going down the stretch here, I think they're going to be a scary team and make a deep run in the NCAA playoffs.
And for me, I do think the women need to continue running deep. They continued to share their minutes in that last game against lacrosse across the board with most of their players. Utilize your bench to your advantage. This is one of the deepest basketball rosters I've seen since I've been alive. Also, Adriana Green, coming off the injury and playing 14 minutes, really helped the Warhawks tremendously. I actually got a chance to talk to one of the assistant coaches and watch the game myself, and the coach was talking to me about how all of her shot attempts were very high percentage. And lastly, you know a basketball team is hot when you see their leading scorer only needing to contribute 5 points to a victory, especially when you win by 26 to a top-tier team like UW Lacrosse, and that one is Becky Rader.
And I think something that could be big going forward is Ellie Beschner. She had 19 minutes in that last game, and she's been on a limited minutes since she's had that injury, so I think it's going to be key, Matt, that she gets more playing time down the stretch.
Yeah, and if you look at the WEAC standings here, we see Oshkosh at 4-4, giving Whitewater at the top, their only loss. Is there any way that Oshkosh can give Whitewater a second loss at home?
I do think that's something that could happen because they've seen they have the success. What they need to do, they need to stop us from they need to stop us from the inside and force us to shoot outside. But I think Whitewater's going to be more focused, and I don't see them losing another game inside the WEAC.
I think one of the only games they're really going to have a trouble against is the number 2 team in the WEAC, which is UW Eau Claire. We have to go into their house, and we know for women's basketball they have one of the top highest attendance per game in their stadium. So we know that they're very, very well known in their communities. So I think if we win against them at their house, I think we could cruise to a WEAC Conference Championship.
And as you saw there, I think that Whitewater has more of an easy schedule. It lets up a little bit. You have 3 of the 4 teams out of your next 4 that are in the bottom half of the WEAC. Does that play into any factor, or you just got to keep the gas on the pedal to the metal?
I think you got to keep the gas on the pedal because if you look at that Platteville game, we were down by double digits at some point in that second quarter before we made the run, and there's just no team in this WEAC that you can count out of it. You just got to keep playing your ball, play hard defense, and convert that to offense.
We got time for one more short break, and when we come back, we'll make our predictions for today's game. This is Warhawk Sports Wednesday on UWW TV.
What does it mean to be a Warhawk?
It means allowing myself to dream big and think outside the box.
Pushing the limits of what I think is possible.
Seeing ideas through from start to finish.
Collaborating with professors and peers.
And seizing opportunities in the community to put my knowledge to use.
I'm studying abroad,
learning another language,
and listening to the stories of others.
I'm making lifelong friends and fearlessly sharing my gifts with the world.
As a Warhawk, I stay balanced,
take great care of myself,
and get out of my comfort zone.
I refuse to let the past determine my future.
And I'm taking confident steps in the direction of my dreams.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
And other times it couldn't be more exciting.
But I will keep my goals in mind
and never quit.
Because
that's the Warhawk way.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
Set the tone early for playing our kind of game.
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app.
The University Center at UW-Whitewater is here to enhance the campus experience. Today, we're going to find out how the UC gets you connected.
The UC gets me connected by providing a great place for me to study.
UC really gets me connected through the different offerings it has between the Warhawk Connection Center, so Impact, SAO.
The UC gets me connected by giving me a great place to socialize with friends.
UC gets me connected by meeting new people, playing pool, bowling.
The UC gets me connected by providing us with charging stations for our phones.
The UC gets me connected thanks to all the wonderful food selections.
Gets me connected to my next meal.
I come to the UC to meet with Spanish Club.
I come to the UC because it's a great place to study.
I come to the UC to get some homework done. My fraternity is always sitting here and they help me and support me to make sure my grades are as high as they can be.
I come to the UC to meet with student orgs. Remember, Warhawks, UC is here to get you connected.
UW Whitewater Athletics, a relentless pursuit of excellence across 22 sports, powered by a tradition of success. 20 national championships, 17 since 2002, 61 individual national titles, 24 National Athletes of the Year, 616 All-Americans, 115 Conference Scholar Athletes of the Year, 1,500 community service hours annually. Be a part of the tradition and join the Warhawk family.
And welcome back to Conover Studio. We're about 5 minutes away from tip-off, but first let's talk predictions for the Warhawks hosting UW Stevens Point. I am going to go 62-60. I think Whitewater pulls out the victory in a close game again. Both these teams play close games. Both these teams have known for close games. Both of these teams rank in lowest in their scoring defense and in scoring offense. So I would expect another thriller, go down to the wire. Both these teams are capable of shooting and putting up points. I don't think one team can pull away from the other, so I'm going to go 62-60 Whitewater.
I'm going to have to go 65-60. I think the Warhawks are going to win this game, and I think that simply because of how deep they play and how young they are. Last game they had 10 players play, and only one was a senior. And to quote Kevin Bullis in one of his halftime interviews, all these freshmen and all these sophomores are all a year older, so they're sophomores and juniors because of how late in the season we are.
Now for me, I'm going to go 51-49, and this is why. Both teams have played in a lot of close games this season. They love the inside shot. I also love the Hawks' use of the bench players. They've found their stud in Briante Hunt. He's fresh, and I do think he'll go out for 25 tonight. I'm going to think the Warhawks are going to win by 2, 51-49. It's going to be a low-scoring affair, and Bailey Kay will get the game winner.
Yeah, I definitely think that playing into their bench, and obviously with Stevens Point not being able to shoot the three ball as well, I think that'll play a factor into it. And both these teams have struggled at times from the three-point range, which could ultimately lead to the low-scoring affair.
Yeah, especially with the Warhawks coming off that game. They had 47% shooting from the field. Not typically a good offense percentage-wise, so that was good to see them coming up strong against the ranked lacrosse team. And I just think that momentum will carry over on offense.
And I think if the Warhawks want to finish out their season well, they just got to continue doing what they're doing. They're very good in these last few games. Taking on number 16 UW Lacrosse, they did a great job winning that game. It was a nail-biter for sure, but I really liked what Coach Pat Miller had going on in that game.
So now I think with all your losses behind you, and now you get this one win, what does this do for like a young guy who gets some more playing minutes?
I think this means a lot, especially with all those losses behind you were talking about. A lot of those were single-digit losses, so those could have flipped the other way. This is a whole different game. But I think for the younger players, this just means a big win, and that just shows that they're good enough to do it. And I think confidence is going to go big going down the road.
And I think getting a chance to play in close games, and for these young players, I think it means enthusiasm, honestly. A lot of these young players, they're getting to experience what these close matchups, these nice collegiate, really exciting game comes into. So I think the Warhawks are just going to have to continue what they're doing and try and pull out a victory tonight.
Before we send it over to the gymnasium, make sure you tune in to next Wednesday for the men's team take on UW Platteville Pioneers. Game tips off at 7 p.m., but tune in to Warhawk Sports Wednesday here at 6:30 p.m. Once again, that's men's basketball next week here on UWW TV. And we are close to tip-off now, so let's send it to Castro Gymnasium, where Kobe Brault, Parker Resner, Corey Moen, and Hanson McIlvain are standing by to call the action. Enjoy the game.
Thanks, guys, and welcome to Catchell Gymnasium on the campus of Whitewater, where tonight we have Whitewater men's basketball live on UWW TV. Today, the Warhawks host the Pointers of UWW Stevens Point. I'm Kobe Brault here with Parker Resner. And Parker, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited for some WIAC basketball. A big game today for the Warhawks. Well, of course for both teams, but Warhawks especially. So I'm looking forward to it.
Couldn't agree more. And now let's dive a little bit into the Warhawks coming off arguably their biggest win of the season. Last game at Lacrosse. Lacrosse ranked 16th in the nation going into that game. Whitewater took care of them by a score of 65-63. Obviously coming in with a lot of momentum. And on the other side, Stevens Point coming in off of their own win versus River Falls. They also won by 2 in that game. So let's talk. These teams have met once before this season. That was a Stevens Point 14-point victory. Let's talk a little bit about that one.
Yeah, so Stevens Point goes on a 19 start the game. And that's just not going to help in the long term of the game, especially for the number one defense when you're going against the Pointers who have the number one defense in the WEAC. And so when they get out to a run like that, it's hard to recover. And I think it's important that today Whitewater takes advantage of their running offense, not letting the Pointers get set in their big, tough defense and, maybe take advantage of some speed and depth.
Yeah, both these teams, Stevens Point ranked last in points per game in the WEAC. Whitewater ranked second to last. Stevens Point coming in at 68 points per game. Whitewater at just about 70. So yeah, offensive struggles for both sides of the ball, but the biggest difference in the records as Stevens Point comes in at a, one sec, let me grab that record quick. They are 13-6 on the year, 5-3 in conference. The Warhawks 7-12, 2-6 in conference. Biggest difference, like you just said, Stevens Point coming in with the number one scoring defense in the WEAC. Whitewater at 6th. So Stevens Point likes to play a slow pace, obviously, but likes to really set up their defense, really wall up. And so, like you said, Whitewater getting out and running. That'll be a very important key for today's game. We are very glad that you guys are with us today. I'm Kobe Brault, along with Parker Resner, Corey Moen, and Hanson McIlvain will be joining us soon. And we are going to send it to a short commercial break. But when we come back, it's game time here at Catchell's Gymnasium. Stay tuned. This is Warhawk Basketball live on UWW TV.
Warhawks know what it takes to become champions. At the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, our student athletes pursue excellence with a determination that inspires everyone on campus. Warhawks are smart. Warhawks are strong. Warhawks value service. We prepare our student athletes for life after college. The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Come be part of the Warhawk family.
Basketball has been a game changer for me.
It's helped me grow as a teammate and a leader.
By establishing standards for youth development, USA Basketball is making a difference for players of all ages.
Through education and training,
they're helping to make the game safer
and more fun. Make sure your child is taught the right way.
Ensure you're the best coach you can be.
To learn more, visit usab.com or download the USA Basketball mobile app.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Not only providing on-air learning opportunities for broadcast journalists and electronic media production students,
but educating and entertaining our audiences with award-winning news, live sports coverage, original programming,
as well as dedicating the mission to developing creative collaborations throughout campus.
For more information, visit our website, our 24/7 stream, and like us on Facebook.
Check us out because you got to see what's on UWW-TV.
As an Army ROTC cadet at Whitewater, you have the opportunity to develop into a great leader while learning and applying the Army values to your everyday life. Within ROTC, you have the chance to travel overseas in the CULP program to train with other militaries, attend many elite Army schools such as Airborne and Combat Diver, and you have the opportunity to attend conferences and guest lectures by some of the Army's top-ranking officers. Our Warhawk cadets participate in many extracurricular activities, Division III sports, Greek life, intramural sports, among many other team-building and community service events. Being a cadet at Whitewater is more than just being part of the Army. It's also about being active members in our community and coming together to form a family atmosphere. Anyone who wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves while developing themselves professionally should consider UW Whitewater ROTC. To sign up for UW Whitewater ROTC, go to the 4th floor of McCutcheon Hall to room 417.
Turn us on. Flip them off. 91.7 WSUW. 91.7 is a student-run radio station serving the Whitewater area with a variety of original programs, live sports broadcasting, community events, and more. So turn us on 91.7 FM or stream us live at 917theedge.com.
The following is a special sports presentation of UWW TV.
Welcome to Catchell Gymnasium, home of the University of Wisconsin Whitewater Warhawks. Today, your Warhawks host the UW Stevens Point Pointers in a WIAC Conference basketball matchup. I'm here with Parker Resner, and we got just a few seconds before the national anthem, so we are going to hold up for a second for that, and then we'll be back with game time.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Catchell Gymnasium for tonight's men's basketball matchup featuring the UW Stevens Point Pointers and your UW Whitewater Warhawks. And now to honor America as well as our servicemen and women, we ask that everyone please rise and gentlemen remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem, being performed by the Warhawk Pep Band under the direction of Tracy Pinzon.
It's a beautiful national anthem, as always. Now, we got a very important matchup as far as the WIAC standings go. Whitewater sitting at 2-6, 7th in the WIAC right now. Top 6 go to the WIAC tournament. Stevens Point sitting at 4th right now at 5-3. Let's talk a little bit about what Whitewater has to do in the last 6 games here in order to get into that 6th seed and get to that WIAC tournament.
Well, I like what you said earlier about how last game was one of the most important of the season, especially a 2-point win. Bailey Cale hitting a couple big shots at the end of the game. Big block by James Burks late. And I think that just kind of builds a little momentum that we're going to need in order for the Warhawks to kind of smell blood in the water a little bit, you could say, and get back into that mix for top 6 and eventually a WIAC tournament entry. And another thing, we've lost our last 5 against them, obviously, so I think it's going to be important for maybe a little Pat Miller. He doesn't have a losing record against any other WIAC team. He might want to push back a little bit, kind of prove that he is the coach that he has been known to be, like a national champion coach.
Yep, the last win against the Pointers for the Warhawks came 3 years ago. It's 2 Clash of the Titans as far as head coaches go. You got Pat Miller, 3-time national champion. You got Bob Semling, a national champion himself. Fun fact about Bob Semling, he currently leads all active coaches at all levels in win percentage, 77%. He's won 77% of his games in his 15th season. That is absolutely unbelievable. And now we have the starting lineups for both teams. For Whitewater, we got Briante Hunt, who just transferred in. This is only his 4th game of the season. Just became eligible at semester, transferred in from Barton Community College in Kansas. We got Gates as well. And that is also, we have Ards, Jensen, and Burks will round out the starting 5. Ards played limited minutes last game against La Crosse, which, I mean, he leads the WIAC in scoring, so that's even more momentum for the Warhawks, the fact that they got that win with Ards playing limited minutes. He's battling some tendonitis in his knee, but it looks like he'll be good to go tonight. And on the other side of the ball, we got Nelson, Erke, Nez, Kerner, and Bublitz for Stevens Point. I call Nelson, Erke, and Bublitz the big 3 for them. They do a majority of their scoring. This team is not very deep, so the scoring is very top-heavy as the tip-off is up. And a great save to start the game there from Ards. We are underway here at Catchell Gymnasium. WEAC basketball as the Warhawks on offense. Hunt looking to drive. And absolutely incredible shot there, a circus shot right into a trap for the Warhawks, a full court press.
What a take there by Hunt. I mean, to use the backboard like that off balance, probably had a little bargain for a foul, but...
Yeah, absorbed the contact and managed to finish, giving the Warhawks a 2-0 lead. And like you said, very, very important that the Warhawks get off to a hot start as Warhawks get the steal and are coming back now on offense. Burks brings it up, looking for a screen, didn't have it. And it is now Gates. Jensen's got it. Gives it to Hunt. Hunt looking around. High pass over to the corner, and they're going to reset the offense. Ars wants the screen from Jens. Refuses it. Ars going all the way to the bucket, and no good. Hunt with the rebound up, and no good again. Another offensive rebound for the Warhawks. Kicking it to the corner. Ards has it in the corner now. Shot clock at 15. Ards looking. Fade away, up, and good. Wow.
Tough shots.
Two tough shots, two tough makes to start the game for the Warhawks as they continue with the full court press. Stevens Point quickly breaks it. Kerner's got it now, and they're moving the ball. Stevens Point now setting up the offense. And it is Nelson now with it. Good defense there from Ards. Almost gets a steal, but not quite.
And Whitewater not letting that 19-1 run happen like it did last time. They're playing a little better defense. You can tell they got energy coming out. Ards looks good, even though he, obviously, as we mentioned, was dealing with a little tendonitis.
And Ards, we have to mention, leads the WEAC in scoring at about 22 points per game. Kerner with the shot and the miss. Great rebound from Burks. Great closeout there from Riley Jensen. Gates now running, kicks it down to Jensen. Jensen kicks it out to Ards. Ards with the three ball, no good. Kerner with the board. Warhawks rushing to get back on defense. But yeah, like I said, Ards leads the WEAC in scoring, and Bublitz is fourth for Stevens Point. He's at about 18 points per game. He has a quick trigger, and Stevens Point now looking to drive. Good defense there from Gates, and a turnover. Great D so far from the Warhawks in these first few possessions.
Yeah, Warhawk defense looks awesome, and they're kind of giving the Pointers a little taste of their own medicine, the phenomenal defense as we talked about.
As Burks turns it over, Stevens Point now, nothing there on the break. Nelson on the drive, goes up, no call, and Hunt with the rebound. Looking to slow it down now. Burks will bring it up, sorry. And so far, refs letting them play on the drives here, which will definitely play to the Warhawks' advantage. As Ards swings it to Hunt. Hunt looking for the three, puts it up, and no good. Nelson gets the board.
And I was surprised the Pointers were even that far on him. I mean, Warhawks obviously not a great shooting team as far as the WEAC goes this year. So I thought they'd be giving him a little more room, but they were on Hunt pretty far out there. I'm glad he took that shot to pull them out of the paint a little bit.
As Stevens Point gets the miss, but offensive rebound there, and that was number 20, Blake Erkey. One of the big three, like I said. James Burks gets the foul, and we got three subs coming in quick for the Warhawks. Kale checks in, Brom checks in, and Chisholm checks in as the Pointers stay on offense here. Yeah, like you said, Warhawks dead last in three-point percentage in the WEAC this season. They don't take a lot of threes, and they do not make a lot of threes. Last time they played Stevens Point, they shot just 25%, 3 of 15 from behind the line. As Erkey trying to take it on Brom. Kerner now on the drive. Gets Ards up in the air, and a great block from Ards.
Wow.
He's coming in transition. No numbers, doesn't matter. Puts it up, no good. And Brom on the tip, no good. Fight for the rebound, and we got a jump ball. Jump ball is the call.
And if you want a possession to show Ards' athleticism any better, you won't find one. I mean, you look at the block back there. He hangs in the air, able to they took advantage of him getting in the air, and he was still able to block it. And then down here, he did miss the layup. But the fact that he's up in the air that long on transition, not a great look, but still able to get one just because he's in the air so long.
Ards, as you mentioned, crazy athletic. Had a couple of SportsCenter top 10 plays, a couple posters so far as the press gets broken, and an easy two for the Pointers. And that was Zach Moots. And we got Corey Moen with a little Stevens Point game break here, so we will send it over to him. Corey, what do you got?
Thanks, guys. So coming into this game, Stevens Point was first in the WEAC in points allowed, holding opponents to 63.4 points a game. And actually, they held Whitewater to the lowest point total this season with 54 back on January 8th. Thanks, guys. Back over to you.
Thanks, Corey. And you see some of that defense right there as they force a shot clock violation. We got a media timeout here coming off of that turnover. It'll be Stevens Point ball. What have you seen so far, Parker? 4-2, about 5 minutes in. Both teams kind of feeling each other out.
Well, one thing that's really interested me is that the Warhawks defense has actually held down this pointer shooting, which I didn't think they would as much.
And we got some coach comparisons, as we mentioned in the pregame. Bob Semling in his 15th season, 301 wins to just 89 losses. This man is a national champion going up against another national champion, being Pat Miller in his 19th season, 386 and 123 in his career. And, you know, the Warhawks kind of not in a very familiar place this season, battling for a spot in the WEAC tournament. Usually they're near the top of the conference, a little bit of a down year, but like we said, with six games left, I'd argue that they're playing their best basketball as we are about to go to a replay here. And that was an awesome replay. And we are coming back now. We got Stevens Point taking it out here. 15:38 left, just 4-2. The Warhawks are in the lead.
It'll be interesting to see if the Warhawks can keep running this press, keep the pressure on, and eventually tire out these pointers that, as we mentioned earlier, only run about 7D.
And yeah, the press, a little bit of, the other ref for help. Let's see. Stevens Point clearly did not agree with the call.
Seems as though there's some questions on the pointer bench as to whose ball it is.
Yep, we're going to talk about it. And call's been changed. Stevens Point ball. But as you saw there, trapping in the corners, making life difficult for these guards. Like you said, they don't go very deep. So 29 seconds on the shot clock is what they're determining right now, and the Warhawks will stay in this press. They're kind of alternating from a diamond press to a more of a man-to-man, just picking up full court. And it looks like they're in the diamond right now as Kerner breaks it.
Good effort play there.
Good effort play as he was slow to get up. Stevens Point and launches it. That was Nelson, launched it out of bounds.
And that's exactly what a press can do. I mean, even if you're not 100% in their face the whole time, you're making them make fast decisions, and those mistakes can transition into the half-court play, the half-court offensive play, where you get a pass like that that goes out of bounds.
And that was Conahan who took the hard fall there, Brian Conahan, and this is his first game back. He's been out for the last 8 games with a concussion, so you hate to see him take a hard fall in his first minutes back, but hopefully he's all right and can come back in for the Warhawks. As Burks has it, tapped out, and I guess he lost it, as they say. It's Stevens Point ball, poked it out, and it must have went off his knee there. Stevens Point will take over. And we got a quick replay here of Conahan's fall. And hopefully he's all right after this one. It looked like as he was slow to get up, he was a little wobbly, so hopefully it's not that head again. But we have an excellent training staff here, obviously, so they'll make sure he's good to go. As Nelson's got it for the pointers. Nelson up top, kicks it to Kerner. Chisholm on him. Kerner looking for Bublitz in the corner, got him, and no good. Offensive rebound there from Erke, out to Nelson. Nelson 3-ball, again no good. And another offensive rebound, that time it's Moots. Nelson thought about a 3, decided against it. Moots also thought about a 3. And an offensive foul on Zach Moots. That will be his second foul.
Great play by Chisholm there defensively.
Yeah, Chisholm really sold it as he as Moots went into his body and got rewarded with the call. That's only one foul on Moots, sorry. And it'll be Kale bringing it up and a late horn. And they will not let the pointer come in. A late buzzer there caused a stoppage, but The pointer will remain at the bench. The man trying to come in, and it will be Kale bringing it up for the Warhawks. Still 4-2. Like we said, both these teams kind of struggle on offense. But the Warhawks avoiding a slow start as they played great defense, as the run out and the dunk from Bublitz.
He got up there. I saw him doing that in warm-ups a little bit.
He's got some springs for a guard. Fourth in the WEAC in scoring, as Stevens Point turned defense to offense there very quickly. Ours now has it, looking to take Bublitz one-on-one, gets to the rim, and finishes.
Great take by Ards to avoid that hand right in his face and get back on defense immediately.
And a couple of tough shots from Ards so far as they're setting up the man-to-man now. Erke thought about the three, decided against it. Burks on Nelson now. Nelson looks to drive, nothing there. Kerner to Moots. Burks now, still on Nelson. Erke wants the post up. He's got a mismatch with Kale on him. He's going to drive, kicks out late in the shot clock, and they call the foul on 23. That's on Ards. First personal, second team for the Warhawks. And they're going to say shooting two. Yep, they call that going up on the shot. He bumped him. Nelson, pretty solid free throw shooter this year.
It'll be interesting to see how the Warhawks' defensive rebounding goes from here on out, because as we saw in the possession before this, a couple offensive rebounds for the Pointers, even when they're tired from working through that press. But obviously, the Warhawks getting tired from D'ing up too. Long term, it should help in their advantage, but we'll see if the rebounding affects some possessions.
Could not agree more. Nelson, a 78% free throw shooter on the year, nails the first one as Jensen comes back, as well as Gates. Now we plays Burks and Chisholm. Now this Warhawk squad, very young. Jensen, one of only 3 seniors, and really the only senior that plays significant minutes. As Nelson puts the second free throw up and in, and we are tied here at 6. 13:25 left in the first half, and what has been a defensive battle so far.
Yeah, I mean, the Warhawks defense, we were talking about the coaching comparisons earlier, and you knew that Pat Miller was not going to let them come on that run that they did last time.
Pat Miller, a master of adjustments, as Ards brings it up for the Warhawks. Jensen with the screen. Ards almost falls down, keeps his dribble, takes it all the way to the rim, no good, and the tip up and in by Hunt. Wow, what an athletic play there from Hunt. Honestly, I don't know if you could find 2 more athletic guys in the WEAC conference than Beyonce Hunt and Equan Ards.
And what a dribbling move by Ards there. I mean, that's something you see at the skills challenge at the All-Star game, and Ards was just doing it mid-game in the middle of the post and did it to perfection, honestly. Just couldn't quite finish.
Ards getting to the rim at will right now as the Pointers moving the ball around. 5 left on the shot clock, looking for the 3, shot up and no good. Offensive board again, and Stevens Point rewarded. Erke tapped it out, and Bublitz saved it. Pointers reset.
Just another example of that offensive rebounding. We're a little tired from our press, and then to go right into a man-to-man defense, it's not easy on the body and for everyone who's out there, so that can allow us to get a little lazy on the boards.
And Hunt with some great defense there, shot clock violation, and give up the offensive rebound, but then turn around and get that shot clock violation. Great D there from the Warhawks. Offensive rebounding, a little bit of an issue so far for Whitewater. However, their team defense as a whole has been pretty solid so far.
Yeah, it's looked really good. I mean, they're staying out on the perimeter well, just staying on your man and not letting him knock down a shot. Plain and simple, that's what they're doing.
As Ards kicks it to Hunt. Hunt thought about the 3 and it nails the 3. And we got Hanson McIlvain with a little Whitewater game break for us. So we are going to send it over to him. Hanson, what do you got?
It's been really obvious, guys, that Briante Hunt has been making a huge impact on this team, but especially defensively for the Warhawks, they've been playing a lot better than normal. As we watch Point pass the ball around the arc, they always pick up the ball and fake that pump. So what's happening is it's giving Whitewater time to get back around on defense, and it's really helping the Warhawks keep the Pointer score down right now. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Hanson, and that was a very great point. Warhawks stepping it up on defense as Erke hit that 2 while Hanson was talking. Coming off a Hunt's 3. Now Ards will set the offense up for the Warhawks. 11-8 is the score. Kale now coming off a double screen. Looking for his shot. He's a volume shooter. Shot is up and no good. Got an open look, but just couldn't quite cash it in. And Kale's kind of the king at taking those difficult mid-range, fall-away jumpers. He's pretty good at that when he's feeling it. Misses that first one, but we'll see if he can get in a rhythm.
A classic guard with good handles, getting by the initial defender, and then it's kind of a good spot right there before you get into the land of the Giants to hit a nice little mid-range, and he can be very good at that when he's on.
As Bublitz has it now for the Pointers, takes the drive in, and it rims out. Rebound by Gates. Jensen was there as well, and Kale bring it up now for the Warhawks. Jensen with the screen. A dime from Bailey Kale. Wow, what a great pass. An absolute dime from Bailey Kale to Riley Jensen. Jensen with a great finish. And that was impressive. Just that little wraparound there.
Yeah, Whitewater just letting their playmakers make this offense right here. I mean, they're hitting shots, they're making athletic plays. I can't tell you how many plays we've seen down there that have surprised us athletically. So that's really what you got to do. Take advantage of your athletes and your depth and play hard defense.
Could not agree more as Gates picked up the foul there. And Stevens Point takes over 20 on the shot clock. Brom, Garden-Kerner. Ards now. And it's now Burks on Nelson. Stevens Point step back, up and good. And that was a nice shot there from Timmer, sorry.
Good defense there by the Warhawks, too. Had a hand in his face, and sometimes they're just going to knock it down just as Equan Ards did right there.
Ards with the jumper. Like we said, Ards leads the conference in scoring, just over 22 a game. He has been huge for them, and he has made some difficult shots so far. He's up to 6 points right now, and great defense there from Burks to force the turnover. Moots looking to get to the rim. Burks just walled up, said no, and he dribbled it right out of bounds. Warhawks to take over once again.
Again, this press just causing weird possessions for the Pointers. They're not expecting maybe whoever has the ball to have the ball when they're bringing it up. It causes them getting into their sets to maybe be a little wanky, a little weird, and then you get turnovers like that and the pass earlier.
As Burks has it up top, almost a steal there for Nelson, and they're calling this foul on the Pointers. That'll be on Nez. Holding Ards coming out of the screen. I mean, if I had to guard Equana Ards, I'd probably hold him a lot too, especially with the way they try to get him the ball coming off of those screens, trying to get him some space to work so he can do his thing, as he has 6 points right now. Hunt with 7 himself. As the Warhawks now, Ards with the step back 3, and it's good. And Equan Ards heating up for the Warhawks.
Oh, God! Oh, God!
Wow, what a play from Equan Arts to get the steal, the dunk, and the foul. Unbelievable. Wow. And it's looking like he is cramping up as he landed there. Holy cow, yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, when you get that high, golly, when you get as high as Equan Ards does, and especially when you body someone like that, when there's a big body in front of you like that, it makes landing difficult. And you could tell he came down a little awkwardly as he hobbled toward half court. But, man, I mean, we've been talking about Ards' athleticism all day, as you'll see a replay here.
Yeah, we'll see that replay.
My God, I mean, the way he got up, just in his face, you can't have more of a poster than that. And right after he knocks down a huge three, and he comes off that three and he's playing hard defense. That's the great part about it. To not only make that dunk, but to everything before that, my God, I'm speechless.
Yeah, Ards really heating up. Hopefully it's just a cramp over there and nothing with that knee that he's been having trouble with, but yeah, my goodness. We were talking before the game, and Parker said to me, he said, I hope I get to see a poster tonight, and you certainly got one right there. There's still just under 9 minutes left in the first half as Ards gets up gingerly. He's walking. I mean, it looked from here like it was going to be, like it was a calf cramp, as his calf was protruding pretty far out, but, I mean, I'm no doctor, as Hunt comes in, and it'll be Chisholm now shooting that one free throw for Ards, as the Stevens Point coach got the pick between the 4 guys that were left on the floor who he wanted to shoot the free throw. He chose Chisholm, and we'll see here as that full court pressure forced that turnover and provided that poster to us.
in a game with low scoring, especially like we've had to this point, a momentum shift like that can be pretty big.
And Chisholm with the make. It is now 21-10. The Warhawks with a double-digit lead early here. Pointers break the press, kicks it to Bublitz. Bublitz over to Nelson. Nelson to Kerner. Kerner looking, back to Nelson. Extra pass over to Bublitz, and that is a 3. He will hit that all day long if he's left that open.
Just a bit of a miscommunication there by the Warhawks. They were kind of getting back, figuring out what man they had, and Bublitz was kind of left in the corner unmanned.
And Bublitz, like we said, scores at a high clip. And that's the downside of coming back from that press as they try to get it to Burks on the cut. No good, and they're saying it's going to stay here out of bounds off Nelson. Kale comes in for Gates. But, yeah, getting back from that press, you got to match up, find your guy, and that was some great ball movement there from Stevens Point. Made the extra pass and knocked down the 3 to cut it back down to 8 points. 21-13 is your score right now as Braum catches it up top for the Warhawks. Looking to drive, kicks it to Chisholm. Chisholm thought about the 3, decided against it. Hunt now. Oh, and a pass just a little too hot to handle for Chisholm. He had him on the cut there coming off the pick and roll, but just threw it a little too wide, and that'll be a turnover for the Warhawks. Stevens Point takes over as the Warhawks stay in this full court press.
Warhawks got to make sure that now with Ards out, we're going to need to find another way of offense, so not to ride on his dunk a little too much, basically, is what I'm saying. Don't ride the momentum too much. You got to keep playing your game.
And talking about Ards being out, he just walked back to the scorer's table, so it looks like it was just a cramp as Bublitz on the drive. No good. Hunt with another rebound, another strong rebound. Burks looking to run. Pointers getting back, walling up on defense. Burks with the spin move, goes up, no call. Chisholm gets the board and puts it in. Wild shot there from Burks. He was looking for a foul. Kale with the foul in the corner, but yeah, Burks goes up looking for the call. They don't give it to him. Chisholm, right place, right time, gets that layup. And we got an immediate timeout here.
I mean, the Warhawk defense has been getting, the Warhawk offense has been getting really nice looks despite this Pointer defense.
And we will take a short break right here on UWW-TV. I'm Kobe Brault along with Parker Resner. This is Warhawk basketball on UWW-TV.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Back here at Catchell Gymnasium on the campus of UW-Whitewater. Warhawks up 10 here, 7:40 left in the first half. Off to a great start in a big WEAC matchup against the Pointers. Parker, we have seen so many highlight plays, and there's still 7:40 left in the first half. The Warhawks playing great basketball right now.
Yeah, and we talked about guys like Hunt coming back and Ards being healthy. And it's guys like that, you're great athletes, you're big 3. You need people to come in and just make plays sometimes. Sometimes you just got to be the better player and make the play. Well, Mamba mentality. And the Pointers have a good defense, and despite that, they've still been able to pull through the Whitewater offense.
The Warhawks scored just 54 in the first matchup. Already have 23 points here, and there's still 7.5 in the first half, so much better start this time around, and that is why they're out to this 10-point lead as the Pointers, Bublitz down to Erke, Hunt's on him. Erke looking for the cutter. He has nothing. Good help there from Chisholm. Kerner on the drive now. The pull-up at the free throw line, no good. And Erke with another offensive board. Looks for the cutter, not there. Instead finds Bublitz out for 3, and another 3-ball for Bublitz, who's heating up himself.
And the Warhawk defense just once again not quite finishing the possession with a rebound. Everything looks good up until that point, but the second they get the rebound, your defense is out of place, and then they have the advantage.
And Erke is an offensive rebounding machine here in this first half, and that has been a big key for the Pointers to stay in it as Hunt on the drive over to Chisholm. Chisholm up and in. And Kerner is down for the Pointers.
And Chisholm looks nice in the paint right now. I mean, he's taking these passes from guards, and even Ards is coming down and dropping nice passes to him. And for him to still be able to finish these, despite the good defense in the middle, it's phenomenal. It's really impressive.
And Hunt with a great pass there. Hunt doing a little bit of everything for the Warhawks right now. It's been the Hunt and Ards show so far. Hunt with 7 points, 4 rebounds, and a dime so far tonight. And Ards with 11, 1 assist, and 1 rebound as well. As the Pointers break the press quickly. Bublitz coming downhill. Great pass. A little too hot to handle.
Nice play.
Better defense there from the Warhawks as here comes Ards, and it's showtime. Wow. Wow. Ards once again, his second highlight dunk of the first half, and the Warhawks are up by 11 here with about 6:20 left. The Pointers bringing it up. Nelson with the behind-the-back dribble to pull up from the free throw line. No good. Ards with the board, and they're looking to run once again. Kicks it over to Hunt. Hunt couldn't quite handle the pass. They're looking to move it, and Ards doesn't handle it. Jensen, good hustle, coming back on D. And Bublitz up and in on a circus shot. No call there as he absorbed the contact and just kind of flicked it up and under.
And Ards kind of looked at Coach Miller and said, that's on me. Miller was a little mad because he didn't come out and get that ball roll out. He didn't come out and get that ball roll out. And then, of course, the Pointers pick it up and score on the other end.
As we will see this replay here of that Equan Ards dunk as Ards goes up and in again. Equan Ards flexing his muscle here in the first half, as you just saw on that replay. Almost a turnover there for Hunt, but it will stay with the Pointers as we got Hansen with another Warhawk game break. Let's go live over to him. Hansen, what do you got?
Guys, this has been such an explosive offense for Whitewater this half. I mean, we haven't really seen anything like this all year. And if they can keep this up and get into the tournament, that would be the conference tournament, excuse me. If they can get into the conference tournament and make the actual NCAA tournament this year and keep this momentum going, that would be incredible. And at this pace, they could potentially do it. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Hansen. And yeah, I mean, this is the best I've seen the Warhawks play so far this year. Coming off of that win on the road against La Crosse, who was ranked 16th in the country. They've got some momentum right now. Like we said, Hunt, the newest addition for the Warhawks as they get another steal off the press. Hunt now, lob to Brom, and he finishes. Great pass from Hunt, great finish from Brom. Thought he might throw that one down.
Thought he might pull an Ards on that one and yam it down, but kind of last second went up with it, made the nice play, and got the finish.
His steps weren't quite right, but he was still able to get the 2 jump shot up and good for Timmerman there. As he got Jensen on the shot fake, took 2 dribbles and knocked it down. Kale now brings it up for the Warhawks. Slowing it down here. 31-20 is the score. Jensen sets a screen. Kale looking to drive. Takes it all the way and no good. Great box out there from Bublitz. And that will be a foul on the Warhawks as we got another replay here. Fouls on Jensen. And here is that lob and finish. And just a great finish there off a great pass from Hunt to Brom.
Must have not quite stretched as much as Ards before the game, but got up nonetheless. Made the nice finish.
And they're worth 2 points either way, as the saying goes, as the Pointers now take over off of that foul on Jensen. 5 fouls for the Warhawks so far to 3 for the Pointers. Warhawks picking up in this full court press once again. It's been causing some fits for the Pointers so far. Forcing turnovers, which they didn't really force too many turnovers when they implemented this press against La Crosse. Just looked to tire them out as Moots goes in, no good. Great block from Jensen. And now the Warhawks are running. No look pass to Brom. Can't quite finish. Gets his own rebound. Kicks it and a turnover there. Moots with some good defense. And they call the foul on Ards.
And kind of a cheap foul there by Ards. But if I can go back to that Kale pass right on that transition, what a great play. He saw Ards moving to the corner. The defender came out on Ards, actually came out on Ards instead of staying in the paint. No look by Kale, looks at Ards to draw the defender out, then no look, and just couldn't quite finish. But just the little things that Bailey Kale does as a guard that can make plays happen.
And Kale leading the WIAC in assists per game at 4. And yeah, he's a flashy passer. Almost got the no-look dime there. Brom couldn't quite finish as Ards heads to the bench with his second foul. Stevens Point now looking to cut into this 11-point deficit. Erke taking Gates, and they're calling Gates on the hold.
Miller's arguing that one, a little bit ticky-tack there.
Miller not happy with that one. They said Gates had his arm in his back, and I mean it's tough when Erke's backing you down like that. You kind of try to do anything you can to prevent that, as that was a little bit of a mismatch. Burks and Chisholm come back in for Jensen and Gates. Erke will head to the line to shoot the 1-and-1 here, as the Pointers will be in the bonus for the rest of the half. 3:50 left here. Warhawks up by 11. Erke with the make on the first free throw. Erke is a 63% free throw shooter, so not a guarantee, but also not terrible for a big man, and he hits both as Hunt checks back in for Brom. A lot of subbing here for the Warhawks, which is very important with this press, trying to keep everybody fresh for the second half. And it's good to see Connigan back in for the Warhawks after taking that hard fall earlier in the half. As Kale now working on Nelson, kicks it to Hunt. Erke on Hunt. Looking for Chisholm. Chisholm up and no good. He'll head to the free throw line though, as that is a foul on Moots. And like you said, I have also liked what Chisholm's done so far down low, catching the ball off that pick and roll and really looking to attack.
And I will say I've loved the Hunt and Chisholm two-man game that's going on right now. They got to play out on Hunt because he's been shooting a little bit, been shooting well. And Chisholm obviously has scored several times as he knocks down that free throw. And that little two-man game, they're both tall enough where a nice jump pass, as Hunt just did, can really be effective. Because when you're getting that high, getting that elevation, getting it to a bigger guy, you can kind of squeeze it past some defenders. That's a big play.
As Chisholm, 74% free throw shooter on the year. But yeah, I found a lot of success with that two-man game. And Hunt doing some scoring, but also doing some passing so far in this first half. As Chisholm hits them both, pushes the lead back out to 11. And the Warhawks with the full court press. Erke brings it up, looking to break it. And he does. Warhawks man up. Erke's got it. Erke with a great half so far, both scoring as well as rebounding. That's what he does best, is Bublitz with the circus shot, no good, and that was some great defense. I think that was either Chisholm or Gates. Kale now on the drive. Circus shot up, no good. And a wild shot, looking for the contact. It didn't come, and he was kind of out of position to score there as Nelson puts a three up in transition and nails it.
Well, before that, there was kind of two straight possessions of guys trying to get fouls. Neither quite worked. Maybe fatigue wearing them down a little bit here, trying to get to the line, slow things down. But a nice shot there.
Great shot in transition there from Nelson. Shoots it at a high clip as Erke gets the steal, coming down, looking for the dunk. Instead, just lays it in. And that is a quick 5-0 run for the Pointers, cutting it right down to 6 with 2:30 left here. Important for the Warhawks to end this half on a positive note. Can't let the Pointers get too far back into this one. Got to keep the foot on the gas as Kale's got it, kicks it to Hunt. Chisholm with the screen. He slips. Hunt puts up the three ball, leaves it long. And we have a quick replay here of, that was Erke with a nice lay-in as Bublitz has it. Bublitz with a hot shooting first half. He has been effective when he's had the ball. Nelson now on the drive. Good help there from Gates as they kick it on the flare cut. Gates with the shot fake, back out to Nelson for another three. That one's off this time. Hunt with another rebound. Kale's got it. Minute 50 left here in the first half. Warhawks up 33-27 in this very important WEAC conference matchup. Pointers coming in here just 3 games better than the Warhawks, in 4th place in the WEAC standings. Warhawks fighting for that 6th spot. They're currently in 7th, but only by a game as Burks is on the drive. Scoop shot, no good. Chisholm almost had the rebound, but there's Erke again, just wiping the glass so far this half.
And there's that Pointer defense again, coming out, playing well at the end of the half, very well, might I add. And that was nice footwork there by Burks, but maybe just an ill-advised shot there. There was a couple pointers in the paint, maybe could have kicked it out for something a little bit better, but that's how the Pointer defense works. They collapse on you.
And Bublitz will head to the line for the 1-and-1, where he is an 84% free throw shooter on the year. Bublitz with a quick 10 points this half, looking to push it out to 12 and cut this lead from 6 down to 4. The senior is 4th, as we mentioned, in scoring. And he knocks down the first one calmly. Now the Pointers, this is what they do. They don't ever panic. You know, Semling, legendary coach, like we said, leads all divisions, all active coaches in win percentage, so he certainly is not going to panic here. They're just going to keep doing what they do, which is defense turning into offense. And this lead is cut down to 4 now, 33-29. Warhawks, as a minute 15 is left, they'll bring it up. Kale's got it. Calling out the play. Kicks it to Burks. Burks with Nez on him. Now Kale's got it in the corner. Nelson on him. Screen from Chisholm. Great shot fake from Kale. Shot goes up and no good. And another rebound for Erke.
And a nice shot fake there by Kale. Man, his fakes are good. His dribble moves are so nice. Hasn't quite been able to finish as much today. Hopefully that picks up a little bit in the second half. He can be really effective.
And Bublitz now, or no, it's Nelson, sorry. Kicks it out. Timmerman to Erke. We got just under 40 seconds left here in the first half. Shot clock at 10. Nelson now looking to drive. Stops, pops, and draws the foul. Kind of threw himself back as he shot it and is rewarded with the call. Burks has 2 fouls now. That'll be a 1-and-1, I believe.
And it's a good job by Pointers to get to the line at the end of the half, get some easy points, easy looks. And that's a perfect example of that play by Garrett Nelson there to draw the foul. When you're a shooter, you kind of sense bodies around you, and sometimes you can stick your butt out a little bit when you're putting a shot up, get a little more contact than you otherwise might on a normal jump shot. And that's what Nelson did right there, and it worked to perfection, honestly.
Nelson, like you said, good shooters making the plays here. And the free throws have been a big part of this run here to end the first half as the lead is cut down now to just 2. And it is Kale bringing it up now. 1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, 33-31. The Warhawks with the lead. They've led by as much as 11 today, but the lead cut all the way down to 2. Great end of the half here for the Pointers. Kale looking to drive. Nelson on him like glue. Braum with the drive, layup, and it's good. And they're calling that on...
And one.
They're calling the and one. Erke with the foul, so it'll be an and one for Braum. And a nice way to end the half there for the Warhawks, who were sliding a little bit there, left the door open for Stevens Point, and they came roaring back in. But a little and one here and one defensive stop, and the lead could be right back up to 5.
Yeah, they definitely needed this just to gain a little bit of that momentum back. Their offense was slowing down a little bit as this half ended, but that's a nice play.
As Hunt checks back in, just 5.7 left. We got a full halftime of entertainment for you, as we'll send it over to Hanson and Corey for a little halftime report. We'll do some UWW-TV sports update, and then we will come back for the second half of action as the Pointers now take it out. Just 5.7 left. Almost a steal for Gates, not quite quick enough. Or that was Connigan, sorry. 5.2 left.
Warhawks want to extend this lead a little bit before the half.
Yeah, looking to not allow anything easy for the Pointers as they go deep. Get it into Nelson. Nelson now maneuvering. 2-1. Shot up and no good. They said it wouldn't have been good anyways. And that is the end of the first half. The score is 36-31. Whitewater leads by 5 in this very important WEAC conference matchup. What's the biggest thing you saw as a positive from the Warhawks in the first half?
Well, I didn't see a whole lot, but we are going to.
And we have Coach Miller, sorry.
We're good? Coach, really good first half. You've got Briante Hunt, 4th game now. How is he adjusting to the roster? How's he adjusting to the rotation?
He's doing great. He gives us some good depth on the front line. He's really active on the front of the press, which has been effective for us in tonight and our previous 2 games.
Yeah, Aquan Arts, his offense has been explosive tonight. Has that been a really big part of the whole season? Do you see that being a big major part coming forward?
Yeah, when he plays well offensively and defensively and rebounds, we're a much better team. And he was good tonight. The foul trouble was unfortunate, but hopefully we'll have him, for the full blow in the second half.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Sanson. That was head coach Pat Miller. Very stoic, very composed as always. Gotta be happy though, up by 5 right now, as they were facing a double-digit deficit the first time around at halftime, the first time they played these guys. But we are going to send it to a commercial break. We'll be back with second half coverage in a bit. Our score again at the half, 36-31. The Warhawks lead. This is Warhawk men's basketball on UWW TV.
At the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, we're passionate about learning. Our talented faculty members blend teaching with research, creating hands-on learning experiences for students. Warhawk pride thrives at UW-Whitewater, where student-athletes excel on the field and in the classroom, where diversity is celebrated. A tradition of excellence. Find your passion here.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Not only providing on-air learning opportunities for broadcast journalists and electronic media production students,
but educating and entertaining our audiences with award-winning news, live sports coverage, original programming,
as well as dedicating the mission to developing creative collaborations throughout campus.
For more information, visit our website, our 24/7 stream, and like us on Facebook.
Check us out because you got to see what's on UWW-TV.
Here at UW-Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Come on!
That's it anyways. Oh, she got that off. They're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
UW-Whitewater Athletics, a relentless pursuit of excellence across 22 sports, powered by a tradition of success. 20 national championships, 17 since 2002. 61 individual national titles. 24 National Athletes of the Year. 616 All-Americans. 115 Conference Scholar Athletes of the Year. 1,500 community service hours annually. Be a part of the tradition and join the Warhawk family.
Welcome back to the halftime show. It is Warhawk Sports Wednesday here on UWW-TV. I'm Hanson McIlvain here with Corey Moen. Score at the half is 36-31 in favor of the Warhawks over the Stevens Point Pointers. Corey, how do you think that first half went for the Warhawks?
Pretty good for the Warhawks. They started off so hot, but then, Stevens Point was able to go on a bit of a run there and cut this to a 5-point deficit.
Yeah, and it was a really big deal for Whitewater, too. Defense hasn't really been the big key for them this whole season. It's really been what they've been trying to do on offense, right? And this defense that they've been playing on Stevens Point has been phenomenal, holding them to that 31 points. On the other side, Stevens Point's a very good defensive team. What do you think Whitewater's doing well to get past them right now on offense?
At the moment, Whitewater's doing a good job of kind of passing the ball around, but unfortunately we saw for these last few minutes, Whitewater's getting into isolation ball. So, Whitewater has to do a better job of just passing the ball around. But early on, they did just an amazing job of just sharing the sugar and, just got to keep doing that.
Yeah, and really big point for Stevens Point when they're trying to move the ball on offense. They're not swinging that ball around. They're stopping, pump faking, and that's killing all of their offensive momentum. That might be part of the reason why they're only down to 31 points in the first half. Going into the second half here, we're looking for some pretty big numbers for the Warhawks. Iquan Ames already has 15 points and 2 monster dunks in the first half. What kind of influence do you think he's going to have on the rest of the game?
Oh, he's gonna have a big time influence. He's our number one guy off the bench, and you saw that powerful dunk earlier. Equan Ards is gonna be a huge impact going into the rest of this game.
Yeah, and talking to coach right there at the end of the half, Briante Hunt has already made a major impact coming into this is his 4th game only after being a community college transfer. So it's really big to see what he's going to be able to do here for the rest of the season. I mean, I'm super excited. If we can win a couple more games, win out in the tournament for conference, we could see some really cool stuff. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Hanson and Corey, for that awesome halftime update. We'll have second half action coming up soon, but let's switch gears a little bit here to all the other athletics that are going on right now at UW Whitewater. This is your UWW-TV Sports Update.
Hello, I'm Sam Matheny, and this is your UWW-TV Sports Update. Wrestling competed in the Pete Wilson Wheaton Invitational and finished second out of 34 teams and finished with 9.5 fewer points than the champions. Seniors Mike Tortorese and Hazen Rice won their respective championships, while sophomore Jarrett Shinhoster finished as a runner-up in his weight category. The team finishes their regular season at UW Eau Claire for the Don Parker Open. The 18th ranked women's bowling team competed in the Prairie View Invitational and finished with a record of 7-6 for the weekend, including a record of 2-1 on Sunday. During this 3-day tournament, the Warhawks finished 9th out of the 12 teams competing. Senior Kaylee Tubbs finished 23rd out of 79 bowlers for the highest scorer on the team. They next traveled to Jonesboro, Arkansas for the Arkansas State Midwinter Classic. The track teams hosted the annual Squig Converse Invitational this past weekend, which saw the men have many individuals on top in their events, as well as finishing third to conference foes UW Oshkosh and UW La Crosse, respectively. The women finished 8th out of 10 teams, but also saw many women finish at the top of their events. The team next travels to UW Stevens Point for the Stevens Point Pointer Invitational on Saturday. And we'll have more sports coming up after this.
UW Whitewater Athletics, a relentless pursuit of excellence across 22 sports, powered by a tradition of success. 20 national championships, 17 since 2002. 61 individual national titles. 24 National Athletes of the Year. 616 All-Americans. 115 Conference Scholar Athletes of the Year. 1,500 community service hours annually. Be a part of the tradition and join the Warhawk family.
Although many winter sports are still playing, the men's tennis team began their spring season with splitting their 2 games they played this weekend. They were swept in the first game against Cardinal Stritch, but then came back and swept Milliken. The team now takes on Carleton and Illinois Tech on Saturday. Gymnastics hosted UW Stout for its 2020 home opener on Saturday and lost by more than 1 point. Senior Blaze Wilson finished second in the all-around competition, while freshman Faith Milan finished third. The team will participate in the annual Midwest Twisters Harley-Davidson Invite this Friday. This weekend, basketball is back in action, where both teams take on UW River Falls as we start to near the end of the regular season. The women are home, but the men travel to River Falls. Our next broadcast on UWW-TV will be the men's team taking on UW Platteville Pioneers. Game starts at 7 p.m., but tune in for Warhawk Sports Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. For more updates, stay tuned to UWW-TV. Check us out at uwwtv.org or tune into our 24-hour stream at reslife.uww.edu/stream. I'm Sam Matheny, and this has been your Warhawk Sports Update on UWW-TV.
as we are at halftime. Once again, Warhawks leading by 5, 36-31 is your score. Just want to give a quick shout out to Hanson and Corey for the great halftime show. As we are back, I'm here with Parker. I'm Kobe Brault. And Parker, awesome first half for the Warhawks. Did exactly what they wanted to do, avoided that slow start, and were able to capitalize on some turnovers off that press. What's the biggest thing that the Warhawks need to do in the second half to come out with a win?
Well, I have two main things that they need to do for sure. Number one is they need to find offense other than Equan Ards. He has 15 of their 36 points. That's a large percentage. When he was not out there, you could clearly see that the offense was affected. Even when he's not scoring the ball, he's causing that penetration to kick it out, or he's drawing more defenders near him. So they're going to need to find, as you see some stats on the screen, they're 40% shooting. Obviously, the Warhawk defense, they have been playing better than we expected. But anyway, so Equa needs to basically not be the only way they score this half. And then another thing is, I thought they played pretty good defense, but it's finishing those defensive possessions. We saw a couple possessions where they played awesome defense, great man-to-man defense. They're on the perimeter, and then they allow a couple offensive rebounds in some cases as we look at some of the top scores. But they need to just finish off a couple of those defensive possessions and then also hustle a little bit more on, like, loose balls, for example.
Could not agree with you more there, Parker, as we got the top scorers in the first half. For Stevens Point, it was Bublitz, 2 threes, just one trip to the free throw line, hit them both. He's shooting 44%. And Equan Ards with 15 points in just 13 minutes, 7 of 10 from the floor. That includes a 3. Hasn't got to the line yet, but it really is a clash of the Titans here as Ards leads the WIAC in scoring. Bublitz at 4th, and they're both doing their thing right now. But I like what you said. For the second half here for the Warhawks, obviously the halftime adjustment for Stevens Point is going to be doing anything they can to try to slow Ards down. The Warhawks are going to need some scoring from somebody other than Ards as we take a look around the WIAC. Very important scores here for both the Warhawks and Stevens Point as we get down the stretch of WIAC conference play. Lacrosse up by 7 at halftime. On the road at Platteville, that's a pretty shocking score as Platteville is ranked top 10 in the country. River Falls down by 9 to Stout. Another surprising score. Stout's dead last in the WIAC, hoping to pull off a little upset there at home. And at the half, it is a dogfight in Oshkosh. Eau Claire down by just 1 point, 45-44. All of these scores, very good signs for the Warhawks if they can get the win here, as Eau Claire is who they're chasing first and foremost, along with River Falls. Both teams are currently down at the half. We'll see if those scores hold, and we'll see if this score can hold right here as we got about a minute 30. Now, other side of the ball for Stevens Point, ended the first half on a little run there, cut into the deficit. They were down by as much as 13 in that first half, cut it all the way down to 2 before the and one by Brom, took it back out to 5. For Stevens Point, what do they have to do? What's the biggest adjustment they have to make to pull off this road win?
Well, on one side of the ball, it's hard to stop the Whitewater athleticism. So keep playing the same defense generally. It was working near the end of the half when Ards was out of the game. So basically keeping that hard defense that they've been playing basically all game. Whitewater was just making shots early on, basically. And near the end of the half, I noticed the Pointers did a good job of getting to the free throw line when they were a little more tired, instead of just wasting possession. Sometimes you see teams, when they're tired, dealing with a press all half. The end of the half kind of has some bad possessions. Well, they were able to take their bad possessions and turn them into free points at the free throw line because they took advantage of maybe some Warhawk players that were a little nervous that the Pointers were coming back, trying to make a play defensively. So it'll be interesting to see how the end, especially of this game, plays out.
And I really like that point you made there. Stevens Point looking to attack down the stretcher. That's how they got back into this game. 8 for 8 from the free throw line in that first half. A majority of those points coming at the very end of the half. Like you said, legs are a little tired. Instead of forcing up tough shots, they stayed patient. You saw Nelson with that little jumper, where he fell into the defender and got to the line, earning it at the stripe. A couple other stats worth noting. This stat honestly surprised me. The Warhawks up by 1 in the rebounding category, 16-15. I mean, you could have fooled me with the incredible rebounding performance that Erke had there in the first half for Stevens Point. 7 rebounds, including 4 offensive rebounds, extending a lot of those possessions, and a lot of that turned into threes or layups. So a great half there from Erke. Who is your one player to watch here in the second half? One for each team.
That's a pretty tough decision to only give me one. My first one's Bailey Cale. I think he had really good possessions last half, but just couldn't quite finish on some of his shots and takes to the rim. So I think if he's able to finish some of those, Whitewater could really pull this lead away.
As the second half is underway, Cale here with the ball, who you just mentioned, kicks it over to Ards. Bublitz now on him. Jensen with the screen. Ards with the step back. 3-ball up. No good. Hunt fighting for the rebound over Erke. Gets it. Back up. And an incredible defense there from Erke to stand tall, absorb the contact, and get the block, and then get his own rebound. And now the Pointers bring it up. Nelson has it over to Erke. Erke with 8 rebounds already. I mean, he's officially on a double-double watch as far as I'm concerned, as he's got it now over to Nelson. Sets the screen. Cale on Nelson, kicks it over to Erke, Hunt on him. Erke looking to get towards the rim, kicks it out to Kerner, wide open 3, up and in. And Jensen just collapsed a little bit too hard on the help side defense there. Kerner knocks it down. He is a big man with range. There's no doubt about it. He was quiet in the first half, but a good start for him to start this second half, and a good start for the Pointers. 36-34 is now the score as Cale's got it. Right wing, kicks it to Hunt. Hunt with the mismatch with Kerner on him now. Over to Ards. Bublitz on him. Spacing. And Ards looking to drive. Dumps it down to Jensen, who goes up. And strong finish there from Riley Jensen. Great pass from Ards, who stayed patient. You saw in the first half a few times him force up that little floater falling to the right. Instead, he dumps it down to a wide open Jensen, who finished strong. Despite Nez recovering late, as the Pointers got it now, Nez thought about a 3, decided against it. Ards on him. Kicks it out to Erke. Gates on him. Erke looking to drive. Takes Gates right to the rim and finishes.
And that was good defense there by Gates. I mean, he is right in his grill for most of that possession, despite being a little smaller, maybe not quite as strong. Still able to stay right on him.
As we got an official's timeout, Hunt walking gingerly. Might have got maybe a thigh bruise there, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, you've seen that a few times. Erke trying to take Gates to the rim, but like you said, that was good defense there from him. Just couldn't quite finish the defensive possession, and it is right back to a 2-point game, 38-36. The Warhawks lead, 18 minutes left here in the second half. As Cale controls it, Cale looks to set up the offense. He's been quiet this game, no points yet. That is very uncharacteristic of him. As he's looking to drive, thought about the kick out, decided against it, and Jensen with another great finish. Awesome pass there from Cale, averaging 4 assists a game, and he finds Jensen there. As the pass a little high, Ards looking to get the steal, and they call him for a trip. Kind of a tough call there.
Pat Miller is definitely not happy about this one. The call was very late, happened when he actually started falling. I don't know if Ards necessarily caused the trip, and that's what Miller's objection is.
And nonetheless, that'll be the 3rd foul on Equan Ards. The Pointers take it out underneath. As Bailey Cale quiet, he's averaging 15 points a game so far, none. If he can get it going in the second half, that will really send the Warhawks offense to another level. As Bublitz looking to drive on Gates. Good defense there from Gates.
Another
Erke,
great defensive play there by Gates.
Over to Kerner. Nez, no hesitation with the 3 and nails it. Coming off the double screen, got the open look and hit it.
Sometimes when you're just that deep, it's hard to defend. I mean, Damian Lillard, a guy, shoots from so deep, sometimes you can't even stay out on him that far. But that's just a nice play there by the Pointers.
And Nez with the 3 ball, cuts the lead to 1. Ards looking, nothing there. Picks up his dribble. Brahms got it now. He's going hard to the rim, and a jump ball, probably. Yep, jump ball. Good defense there from Kerner, and he gets rewarded as the Pointers will take over here. 1-point game. It's the closest it's been since they were tied very early in the first half. The Pointers have never led yet in this game. Looking to change that right now as they break the press. Bublitz brings it up, has the 2-on-1. Jensen looking to recover. Nelson with a great up and under, and the Pointers take the lead.
Man, what an upper. I mean, that's just a good take. That's really smooth. It looked great the whole time.
One-on-one.
Got to get back in transition.
One-on-one with the shot blocker there. He just put him in jail, went up and under, and they take the lead as Ards, no good. And that'll be an over the back. Jensen fought hard for the rebound, but was out of position. And that'll be, I believe, his 2nd foul as the Pointers take their first lead of the game, 41-40.
And I think that's Bublitz down for the Pointers.
I believe that is, yep, Bublitz. He kind of got crunched there by Jensen. Jensen went up over his back, and they both kind of crashed to the floor. We got an officials timeout on the floor, and exactly the start to the second half that the Pointers were looking for. After starting out pretty slow, honestly, in that first half, they come out on a little 10-4 run, have yet to miss a shot, 4 for 4 from the field, 2 for 2 from deep. And we got the replay here of the injured Pointer. Let's see if we can get an angle on what happened. As Jensen just fought for the rebound, and yeah, just kind of a awkward landing there for Bublitz. I don't know if he hit his head or that was a leg, or I'm not sure what it was, but still
basically
down.
Everything.
Yeah, seriously. Hopefully he's all right, as he is kind of the heartbeat for this team. And he had a great first half. Has had a great game so far.
And it was a great job early in this half by the Warhawks to use the big man, get him some feeds down low, especially that pass from Ards where he was drawing some defensive attention. And then the Pointers defense just kind of ended that. They just kind of stopped it, denied it immediately, and the last 3 possessions from the Pointers have looked really nice.
As we got a quick replay here, another angle on it, and yeah, just an elbow to the eye it looked like there. It looked like maybe some blood over there. The trainer's got a glove on, but Bublitz gets up, walks off under his own power. See if they'll get that maybe stitched up or glued up and get him back in here.
Well, the way these guys have been playing, I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in the game. I mean, we've had several injuries tonight, and these guys are playing hard. They know it's a big game. Their coaches obviously have told them this is a big game for their season. So You know these guys want to get out there and play.
Yep, the Pointers with a bit of an identity throughout the WIAC as just a hard-nosed team. Nothing really easy. As almost a 5-second call, not quite. Brahm with the defense and is rewarded with the turnover. Kerner fell over and the ball touched him as he was sitting out of bounds. That'll be a turnover for the Pointers, and the Warhawks will take over right underneath their own basket.
And if you're the Pointers, you can't get trapped like that in that corner. You got to get the pass out quickly to the middle of the court. Work the middle of the court.
Yep, I doubt the game plan was to give it to your center in the corner. But as Gates catches it on the wing, and they call the foul on Nelson. Thought it might have been a jump ball. Nelson is always hunting for that ball. Anytime you got to be very strong with it, or he will snatch it right out of your hand. That's his first foul, first team foul for the Pointers. Leading by 1, 16:30 left in the second half. 41-40 is the score as Ards has it on the drive, up and in. Just went straight up over the outstretched arm of Erke, and another 2 for Ards, and just a great take there from the corner. Took his man one-on-one and then finished through the contact.
And that's just your best player taking a possession, slowing it down, and getting a basket to give you the lead back.
As Erke thinks about the 3, instead drives on Gates, over to Moots in the corner. Moots up, no good. Jensen fighting for the rebound, doesn't get it. Scramble for the ball. Jensen dives. Kerner dives. Moots dives, and they're going to call a jump ball.
And there was a little confusion there by the refs because no one really grabbed the ball there. I mean, it was kind of like a scramble till the end. The ball was loose most of the time, so it wasn't until the very end that there was possession by both sides.
Yeah, a strange sequence there, but it results in the Warhawks getting the ball back up by 1, 42-41 is the score, and we are going to take a short break. But when we come back, we will have more second half action here at Catcher Gymnasium. You are watching Warhawk men's basketball live on UWW TV. And we are back here at Catcher Gymnasium. 16 minutes left in the second half, 42-41. The Warhawks lead by 1. Quick start to the second half for the Pointers, going 4 for 5 so far from the field. We got a quick replay. And that was like you said, it's just strange scramble for the ball there. Eventually they call the jump ball as Kerner was just kind of grabbing at it.
Yeah.
He couldn't even really see the ball. He was just grabbing at it. Nonetheless, Warhawk basketball and Ards will bring it up here for Whitewater, looking to move to 3 and 6 in conference, fighting for that 6 seed. As we said, even a 5 seed if they can take full advantage of these last 7 games. Ards now on the drive, kicks it out to Gates. Gates wide open in the corner for 3, up and in. And an excellent find there by Ards. Leads to the 3 for Gates as we got a Stevens Point game break here from my man Corey Mullen. Corey, what do you got?
Thanks, guys. A player to watch in this game is Garrett Nelson, because last game versus River Falls, he had 24 points on 8 of 15 shooting. As the Pointers defeated River Falls 61-59. And Nelson also made the go-ahead three-pointer with 34 seconds left to win the game. Back over to you guys.
Thank you, Corey. And yeah, Nelson with another great game tonight, 9 points, 2 dimes, and a rebound. As we saw Kerner hit that 3 from straight on to cut the lead right back to 1. Like we said, he's a big man with range, and he's been getting loose so far in the second half. Kale kicks it to Gates. Gates now with the pull-up and hits. 5 quick points for Austin Gates, the freshman.
Nice possession there by the Warhawks. As getting a bucket without Ards necessarily causing it.
Erke breaks the press and a sweet Euro step there. Gets the 2, lead right back to 1 as he just Euro stepped straight past Jensen and got the bucket. Very athletic play there from Erke, who's a big man, but really brought it up the entire way up the floor. As Ards now looking to drive, step back, up, no good. Wanted the foul, didn't really have space to land there, but they don't give him the call.
Yeah, Ards definitely did not have space to land there, and they didn't give him the call. But you know what? They've been letting him play, especially early, so we'll see if that translates to this half.
As Kerner now looking to drive on Jensen, kicks it out to Erke. They reset the offense. Moots now over to Kerner. Kerner with another 3 up and no good this time. Erke with another board, and they call the foul on Ards. That is his 4th. And I have a feeling he will be taking a trip to the bench here. That's very, very tough news for the Warhawks, as that is 4 fouls on Ards.
And Ards just got teed up. Yep. He said something to the ref as he was walking away. And one of the other refs, actually, that I don't believe it was intended at, heard it, teed him up. I didn't hear what was said. But definitely a tough break here for the Warhawks. Not only losing him to that foul, but also this technical.
And that technical means that's 5 fouls for Equan Ards. Fouls out of the game with 13:57 left. Just lost his composure there. And the Warhawks, if they're going to pull this one out, are going to have to do it without Ards. 17 points, a steal, a block, 3 dimes, and 2 boards for Ards. That's what his final stat line is going to be, 8 of 14.
1 poster, remember that.
Yeah, 1 poster, 2 actually.
Yeah, fair.
And so 17, 3 off from his average of 20, and that is a big loss for the Warhawks. Bublitz back in for the Pointers. Glad to see that, as he was down for a while over there with that. I'm not sure what that injury was, but nonetheless, he's back, and he is shooting these technical free throws for Stevens Point. In and out on the first free throw.
Massive.
And a kind of a swing of momentum here, kind of a different vibe in the gym here. See if the Warhawks can take back control of this game as Bublitz puts the second one up and in. 47-all is the score now. And we got some subs coming in.
A couple big plays there by Gates, who's coming out right now. But a big 3 in the corner in that nice mid-range might be a good sign of things to come for the rest of this game as far as offense other than Ards.
Yeah, Gates getting it going. He was very quiet in the first half, able to get it going with those 5 quick points. As we had Chisholm, Hunt, and Burks back in for the Warhawks. It'll be 2 shots now for Erke as he tries to extend the lead for the Pointers. Pointers have not really led by much more than a point so far in the second half as Erke hits the first one, and they go up by 1 once again. 13:57 left here. 48-47 is your score. Erke misses the second one. Chisholm with the board. And now it'll be Kale bringing it up, and we will see what these young Warhawks are made of without their leading scorer coming down the stretch. 13:45 left, down by 1, as Chisholm's got it up top, looking for Brom, finds him. Brown thought about the three, decided against it. Now down to Hunt. Erke on him, and Hunt hits the mid-range jumper, Hunt started off strong, has been a little quiet on the offensive end, but is now, with that quick two, hopefully going to get it going once again. As the Warhawks set it up, Nez with the three ball up and just rims out. That was about 3/4 of the way down. Nez already with 1-3 in the second half as Kale now brings it up. Warhawks lead by 1. Burks over to Brom. They get the offense set up. Chisholm pops, looking to drive on Kerner. Stops, floater up and not quite. Good look for him, just couldn't quite finish it. A little too strong. And the Pointers looking to run. Nobody picks up Bublitz. Now they do. Nelson setting it up. Burks on him. Over to Erke. Hunt on him. And just an absolute back-and-forth battle so far in the second half. Nelson with the pull-up, no good. And Brom taps it away from Chisholm, taps it away from his own man, and that'll be a second chance for the Pointers as Nez goes up. Nice and easy, can't quite get it, gets his own rebound up and in this time.
And this was the Warhawks' problem last half towards the end of it a little bit. Just getting outworked on the boards when maybe they get tired on the break or Ards maybe isn't in the game, which of course he won't be right now. But definitely need to see how that transitions the rest of the half.
Yeah, gotta shore up the offensive boards, as that was just a mental error there from Brom, leading to the, and Brom now on the drive, leading to the 2 for the Pointers. Kale in the corner, thought about it, decided against it. Looking to take Nelson, pulls up, and not quite. Brom taps it out to Hunt. Hunt down to Brom. Brom looking to go up strong, and not quite. Erke with the great defense once again down low there. He stayed straight up, deflected the shot, and then got the rebound again. Burks now on Nez. Nez lost it. Brom's got it to Kale. No numbers. And Kale from the logo practically. Not quite. Chisholm with a great putback.
Great positioning there by Chisholm, as it has been all game. It always seems like he's in the right spot down there to maybe get an easy bucket. But the pace of this game has picked up immensely from being so slow in the first half, and now all these possessions with deep threes.
And Hunt, slow, coming off the foul. He appears to be in a lot of pain and will stay down on the floor. But like you said, great putback, great hustle there from Chisholm as
and
he will stay.
Hunt, another big player that for us today, of course. And one thing I've noticed about Hunt today, the man, when he has the right amount of space, you won't see him second-guess a shot. He's not thinking about it. The shot goes up so quickly and so smoothly. It really looks nice, and it's hard for a defender to defend.
And hoping for the best there for Hunt, as he appeared to be in a lot of pain as he came out off of that foul. That's the 5th foul on the Warhawks. Foul trouble was an issue in the first half. Bublitz goes up, no good. Erke tips it to himself, and they reward him with the foul. Another offensive rebound for Blake Erke, and he will get 2 free throws as that's on Brom. 16 foul, and I mean, there's 11 minutes left in the second half. It's 6-1, the fouls right now. Warhawks with 6, Pointers with just 1. That's going to be a big storyline, as we saw the Pointers take advantage of the free throw line in the first half. They went 8 for 8. They've missed a couple here in the second half. Just 2 for 5 from the line right now in the second half. Erke with a couple of those misses. But
and those 3 missed free throws are going to be absolutely massive. I mean, it debatably kept the Warhawks in this game during that little technical and foul stretch by Ards. Kind of kept them in the mix and not lose too much momentum.
Yep, as 51-51 is the score. Gates has it on the wing. And now Burks up top. Brom's got it down low, back out to Gates. Gates on the drive, floater up and in. Gates with 7 points, all in the second half. The freshman showing his offensive ability so far in the second half. He's been huge. Nelson has it for the Pointers to Erke. Erke thought about the 3. Jensen keeps the hand up. Nelson now will set it up. But yeah, biggest thing you said was Warhawks finding scoring besides Ards. They're going to need to do that now more than ever as Ards is out of the game, and they call the offensive foul on Bublitz. And that was Connigan that sold it. Bublitz, that's only his first. Chisholm checks in for Brom. The Warhawks currently without 2 of their 3 leading scorers, as Kale check in quick. And he didn't get to the table in time, so Burks will bring it up. But yeah, Ards as well as Hunt both out for the Warhawks. We'll see if Hunt comes back. Ards done for the game as he fouled out with that technical foul. Burks with the hard take and is rewarded with the foul. He'll go to the line for 2. Nelson just grabbed him as he went up.
And this the story of this half seems to be aggressiveness. You saw Erke kind of take over the game for about a minute stretch, just purely with his rebounding aggression and getting to the line. So that seems to be the story this half. We'll see if that continues.
And Erke, who you mentioned, Burks misses the first free throw for the Warhawks. Erke, 6 offensive rebounds and 4 assists in this game. He has left his mark everywhere. As we got Burks at the line, 67% free throw shooter. He missed the first one. See if he can make the second one and push this out to a 3-point lead. He hits the second. Kale come in for Burks. And Burks coming out a little gingerly as well. Injury is a bit of a concern here. We knew Ards wasn't 100% coming into this game. He seemed to be fine as he put up those 17 huge points for the Warhawks. But Hunt went out and is trying to walk it off. We'll see if he's going to be able to come back. And Burke's walking a little gingerly there too. Hopefully he's all right. As the Pointers break the press, Berkey over. And Jensen with the foul on Bublitz just grabbed him as he drove by him. About all you can do there is if Bublitz has position on you, go into the rim. That's a guard and a big man. But that's 7 team fouls on the Warhawks, and Bublitz will now go to the line for the 1-and-1.
It'll be interesting to see where this Warhawk offense comes from now. Gates did look good with a couple shots. Kale's definitely going to start to have to knock some down, along with feed Chisholm a little bit, who's looked good. Maybe get Jensen involved. He was looking really hot to start the half. Then the Pointers kind of closed him off.
And Bublitz, 84% free throw shooter, leads the team both in free throw makes as well as free throw attempts. Hits them both calmly here, and the lead is now 1 once again for the Warhawks. Kale will bring it up. Kale very quiet so far tonight. They're going to need him to step up in the absence of Ards and Hunt. Gates has it now. Warhawks hanging tough here against this very experienced senior-heavy Pointers team, and Erke sells the contact, gets the foul, and that's on Chisholm. That's his second. 10 minutes on the dot left here in this second half, and back and forth we go here at Catchell Gymnasium. Just a great classic WEAC battle so far tonight. Warhawks led by as many as 13 in the first half, but are only up by 1 right now. Sorry, Parker, go ahead.
No, this Pointer defense, they've really shown out this half. Kind of proven why they are so high in the rankings this year.
As we see the replay.
Yeah.
They break the press. Bublitz brings it up. But yeah, #1 scoring defense. That was our top storyline coming into this, and they are flexing their muscles so far in the second half on D. Warhawks hanging tough, though, still up by 1. Nelson's got it, thinks about the 3, takes it, and nails it. And that's Connigan, just got caught underneath the screen. Nelson got the open look and hit it. He's got a couple 3s so far tonight. That's 12 points now for him.
As this game progresses, you might have to start going over the top of those screens and not allowing him to get an open shot, because that guy's got a sweet stroke.
Yep, and Kale now from deep, forces it up, no good. Moots fights for the rebound and gets it. But yeah, first half, the Pointers went 3 for 8 from deep. Second half, as Erke thought about the 3, kicks it back out to Nelson, gets another wide open look, and this time is long. Moots with the good position and the good rebound over to Bublitz from the corner, and he knocks it down once again. As we got Hanson McLevain with a little Whitewater game break for us. Let's send it over to Hanson.
Guys, with Equan Arts out for the rest of the game, falling out, and Briante Hunt kind of questionable to come back, Whitewater's really going to need somebody to come off the bench, maybe even a starter that doesn't have as many points in the regular season so far, to really step up and take advantage of this point team that might be a little bit undersized. And it kind of looks like Whitewater's going to be able to get back here if they can get some momentum going. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Hanson. And yeah, momentum big right now, shifted firmly in the Pointers' favor. 59-54 is the score. Like I was saying, first half, Pointers 3 for 8 from deep. Second half, they're already 5 for 10. They're living and dying by the 3 right now, and they are living large as they take their largest lead of the game, up by 5.
Well, when you're a good team like the Pointers have been this year, near the top of the WEAC rankings, like we obviously said, you can tell they know how to ride momentum, and they got a little momentum with the technical foul and maybe a couple calls going in their favor. And ever since then, they've been sinking shots, they've been playing harder defense, and that's what good coaching will do.
Could not agree more with you there, Parker, as the Warhawks looking to stop this run here from the Pointers. Down to Jensen. They got a foul on Kerner, who held Jensen as he had position on him.
One thing that I definitely think is in the Warhawks' favor here, this Pointer defense obviously playing very hard and aggressive right now. We'll see if they can hang on to that as the half progresses. They get a little more fatigued. This Warhawk team, which maybe has lost some of its depth tonight through foul trouble and injuries, they're still more deep regardless, and we'll see if that's able to come out on top as this game goes on.
As another turnover for the Warhawks, Bublitz on the run, kicks it to Nelson, and a swat by Gates, but they call a foul. Looked pretty clean to me, but he might have got him with the body. Nonetheless, Nelson to the line for 2, and that's 9 fouls for the Warhawks with 8:41 left. The Pointers will be in the double bonus the rest of the way. Nelson going for 2 here, 2 shots, as that was a sweet play by Gates, but unfortunately caught him with the body. Nelson,
great hustle by Gates, but unfortunately, sometimes with those calls, the ref just sees a little more body, no matter how good the block is, as we'll see a replay here. Sometimes just catch a little too much of the body with that aggressiveness.
We will check the replay out here, see what happened as the turnover led to the 2 points, and it is now a 7-point lead for the Pointers. Gates goes up and looked clean to me, but he might have bumped him with that arm. The ref had a better angle than we did. Nonetheless, Nelson hits both. And the Warhawks now trailing by 7. Brahm thought about the 3. Shot fake, no. And Moots with the great defensive play. Stops. Erke thought about it. Back to Moots. Over to Nelson. Nelson fakes the 3. Down to Kerner. Good help defense there from Brahm. Moots now on the cut. Back to Nelson. Wide open for 3. Got it. And the Warhawks defense falling apart right now. Momentum swings is in the Pointers' favor firmly, and it is a 10-point deficit right now for the Warhawks. 64-54, they are down. First time they've trailed by double digits tonight. Largest deficit they've faced tonight. We'll see if they have an answer. And another turnover by the Warhawks, that time by Burks. Brahm now stops Erke. Bublitz to Kerner. Kerner to Nelson. Nelson with a huge second half so far.
And it's such an interesting way that the second half is developing. I mean, the Pointers essentially said, let's use our defense and turn it into offense. You know, the Whitewater defense was playing well first half, and they're not playing horrendous this half, but when, you're turning balls over like that on the other side, it results in easy points, and that's just hard to defend and hard to come back from against a good defensive team.
And a timeout by Pat Miller and the Warhawks. We are going to take a quick break here. 7:14 left in the half. Second half, Pointers up 66-54. This is Warhawk men's basketball live on UWW TV.
My coaches always make sure that the student comes first, because not everyone's going to become a professional athlete. So they make sure that we will do great in academics. I knew that would only open the door to my future, and I'm really excited to start my dream program for physical therapy.
And we are back live on the campus of UW Whitewater. 66-54, the Pointers firmly in the lead, and just a blistering second half from the Pointers so far. 35-18, they've outscored the Warhawks. 11 for 18 from the field, and 6 out of those 11 buckets coming from deep. Offensive explosion. What do the Warhawks need to do to stop the bleeding right now?
Well, I mean, they need to play offense. They need to play their offense, their game. I mentioned earlier that they need to find a little offense without Ards. You knew he'd get in maybe some foul trouble with 3 coming into the half. So it was important for them to find ulterior ways of scoring, especially with adjustments the Pointers would eventually make. And they were able to do that early on, but then their offense got a little lazy, and it resulted in Pointers turnovers that turned into points then. And the Warhawks just fumbled the rest of the way, and it's going to be important for them to come out with some good offensive possessions, good shots, not allow rebounds on the other end by the Pointers.
As a sense of urgency needs to be apparent for the Warhawks. 7 minutes left in this. They're running out of time as Hunt's back in and hits the jumper. Lets his presence be known immediately. He had left earlier with that foul. Looked like he was injured, but glad to see him back as Kerner gets it up to Erke, breaking the press. Moots slows it down. Over to Erke. Erke back to Moots. Back to Erke, and now to Nelson. Nelson thought about the 3, decided against it. Nelson with 3 threes so far in this game. Moots has it now, over to Erke, Hunt on him. Kerner to Nelson. Pointers staying patient. And good D there from Kale. Turnover, and now the Warhawks are running. Kale with the pull-up, and not quite. Kale struggling mightily tonight, and the Warhawks need him desperately right now. About 6:10 left in this game. Warhawks down by 10. Kerner's got it up top for the Pointers, as Kale is 0 for 9 from the floor right now. As we said, typically 15 points per game out of him. They're missing that offensive production very bad right now. Very badly, sorry, as Moots has it for the Pointers. Shot clock once again down. Bublitz with the pull-up, no good. Strong rebound there from Connigan, and Kale will bring it up. One thing about Kale, though, he's an excellent passer, and he's certainly not shy about shooting the ball. 0 for 9, but that does not, as they call the kick there on the Pointers, that's not going to stop him from shooting. No way. And the thing with Kale, in my opinion, I think he should get to the rim a little more here. Everything's a pull-up right now, or a difficult, fadeaway, as Chisholm checks in for Jensen. Get going to the rim, maybe draw a foul and get some points at the line just to get into a rhythm here. Is 0 for 9, clearly out of rhythm.
Yeah, that one shot falling, kind of a tough bounce, but if he gets the right bounce there, that could turn his whole game around. So definitely something the Warhawks needed there. As
Kale kicks it to Gates. Has Kerner on him, the mismatch. Breaks him down, pulls up, and no good. Chisholm on board, up and in. The freshman making his presence known. The freshman coming out of McFarland with a great game so far on the offensive and defensive end, as Gates on Moots. Bublitz as the Pointers break the press and set up the offense. Hunt now on Bublitz. Nelson with Kale on him. Kicks it out to Erke. Erke for 3, no good. Good box out from Connigan, and that will be a good defensive possession there for the Warhawks.
And Kale you can definitely tell that this Pointers offense is getting a lot more comfortable with the Whitewater press. They kind of know their positioning a little bit better. It rattled them early on as Chisholm misses that easy bunny. But you can definitely tell it's changing the momentum of this game.
And it will stay with the Warhawks. Tapped out as Chisholm got that rebound, just couldn't quite put the putback in. But the scramble for the ball resulted in it being out on the Pointers. And 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Warhawks as Hunt's got it. Erke on him, going right at him. Kicks it out to Gates. Gates with another 3, leaves it long. Connigan, great hustle, but couldn't quite corral the ball, and it'll be Pointer ball. 4:35 left. It's an 8-point game. Warhawks trying to get momentum back. Little quick 4-0 run here, and they will set up the press, as they have done the entire game. Like you said, Pointers kind of starting to figure it out. He gets it to Bublitz. Kale picks him up. Kerner, and it'll be Nelson now. Connigan stays on him. Chisholm guarding Moots, and it'll be Bublitz now. Screen coming. Bublitz on the drive. Stops, hangs, and nails it. The pass fake got the defender in the air, and then it was just a nice little floater there for Bublitz. He can score at all 3 levels.
And one thing about the Pointers, too, taking a lot of smart shots, using their players to their best skill set. Nelson taking 3s and a lot of mid-range shots happening this half.
As the block is called on Moots, Kale on the drive, and he will head to the free throw line to try to get his first points of the night. Semling thought it was good defense there, but the ref thought he got him with the body, as Kale visibly frustrated at this point. And I would be too. That's been a rough game for him. Let's see if he can turn it around in this last 3:57. 0 for 11 from the field right now. First free throw up and good.
Sometimes good players just got to see the ball go in once in a while, and that's big there from Bailey Kale.
Yeah, hopefully that is the case for Kale, as the lead is cut back to 8 as he hits both. Pointers now looking to run quickly. Kerner catches it, and a great defensive play there from Kale. Now the Warhawks running. Gates looking to drive, kicks it to Connigan. Connigan now on the drive, over to Hunt. Hunt. Oh, and they call the travel as Hunt shot fake to set the ball down, but when he kind of shuffled to the right there, that's when they got him on the travel call. Turnover for the Warhawks, and the Pointers will take back over. 3:44 left, 8-point game. And a weird inbound angle there, as we're looking at a coach's timeout. Nelson just sat down on the floor and untied his shoe.
Pat Miller's arguing, why did you just stop it in the middle of play? And I can see why he'd argue. I mean, you kind of handle those things sort of intermittently during breaks, typically.
Yeah, Miller not happy with that one as they were about to trap Erke in the corner there. And Nelson just went over to the ref and started pointing at his leg. And then I think the ref probably thought he was injured. I'm not sure, but all he did was just sit down and tie his shoe. So Warhawks reset the press, 28 on the shot clock. Pointers look to get it in. Timeout. Smart play there from Erke. And, you know, the biggest thing from this game, down 8, we talk about the swings of momentum. We talked about the coaches, 2 very, very experienced coaches, as it's a we're going to take a 30-second timeout and a short break here as the score is 68-60, the Pointers lead. This is Warhawk men's basketball live on UWW TV. And we are back here at Catch Gymnasium. The point I was trying to make there right before the break is you see with these two teams, the Pointers senior laden as Chisholm almost gets a steal. Taps it right to Nelson, though, and a scramble for the ball. Connaughton gets on the floor once again, and the Warhawks get the turnover in a wild defensive sequence there. Warhawks now looking for some momentum. Hunt puts the 3 up, no good, left it short, and Nelson corrals the board and is off and running.
And one thing that the Warhawks...
And he steps out. That'll be Warhawk ball as Nelson just went in there out of control and kind of threw it up.
One thing as the Warhawks sort of have done this half is cause some turnovers. They need to take some pointers, no pun intended, from the Pointers as far as cashing in on those steals and turnovers in the press and turning them into points. 2 poor possessions coming out of good defensive plays.
As Kale on the drive now looks, and Chisholm with another offensive rebound. Kicks it out to Kale. Thought about the 3. He drives, stops, and great defense from Nelson. Now Gates has it. Back to Kale. Kale thinking about it. Gets Bublitz up in the air. Over to Connaughton. Up and in. And the 3 is good. The lead is cut to 5.
Nice shot.
And we will see what these young Warhawks are made of as scrambling on the press here. Defense being stepped up. Little 3-on-2. Kerner's got it now over to Moots. And the Pointers, you can guarantee, are going to slow it down now, set up their offense, work to get a good possession. The last few possessions when the Warhawks have turned them over, as we're going to see the replay here, and Nelson takes the timeout. Semling trying to calm down the comeback effort. As we see this replay, Connaughton catch and shoot wide open, and that's what Kale does. You know, Kale's struggling. However, when he drives into the lane, you have to respect the fact that he is going to shoot that. They collapse, and he finds the wide open shooter. The lead is now 5. And win or loss here, I know this late in the season, 6 conference games left after this. There's no such thing as a moral victory, but the Warhawks hanging tough here against a very experienced, very fundamentally sound Pointers team. They haven't had ours the entire second half pretty much. He went out with about 17:30 left. But the lead is now 5, 2:28. We'll see if the Warhawks have a comeback effort left in them. Nonetheless, a great game either way. Great job from both teams playing very hard.
And you can tell that Pat Miller wants this one, can't you? I mean, you've lost 5 straight against this team. Another premier coach in the division, highest class that it gets. You can tell he wants it. They're playing very hard down the stretch. They didn't roll over, despite being a young team against a very experienced Pointers team.
Yeah, fight is the story as Connaughton stays on. Bublitz now on the drive. Stops, not quite, goes up, no call. Hunt with the board, and Bublitz trying to draw the foul, didn't get it, and now the Warhawks are running. Gates kicked it back out to Kale. Kale getting the screen from Chisholm. Chisholm slides. Kale from way downtown, no good. Scramble, and it'll be Erke. And they call the foul on I'm not sure who they called it on. 21, they called Gates on the arm, and that was before Kerner ripped through and caught Hunt in the face.
And that would have been a big shot there by Kale to bring it within 2. But again, I was going to say before, Whitewater had a bunch of great possessions going on. Everyone using their skill set, their skills to contribute to the offense. And I just feel like Kale taking that, maybe not the most high percentage shot you could have taken, but regardless, going to need stuff like that to get back in it now.
Yeah, and that step back from about the logo, not exactly in the offensive game plan I can imagine for the Warhawks, as Erke knocks down the free throw. Been a little shaky at the line in this game. He's now 5 for 7, so I guess not that shaky, but just an incredible game here for Erke. Can't say enough about his imprint on this game. 13 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. As he has the double-double. Hunt gets the rebound off for the miss. The big 3 for Stevens Point has been the story. Nelson with 17, Bublitz with 20, and Erke with 13, as they have led the way for the Pointers. 6-point lead. Hunt went for Chisholm, scrambled for the ball. And Gates and Erke fighting for it. Erke with the hustle and is rewarded as the possession arrow points to the Pointers. Again, no pun intended. But, I mean, I don't know. I have not seen a game in a long time with this many guys getting on the floor. I mean, it seems like every possession, 1 or 2 guys is diving for the ball. Great hustle from both sides. You can tell both teams really want this win, really need this win as far as the WEAC standings go. And Nez almost loses it. Good defense there from Connigan. Nelson now up top, and that is a turnover by Nelson.
Nice. And that's nice defense by the Warhawks there. I mean, they are not giving up. You were just talking about how many guys you've seen on the floor. I mean, the energy on defense from both sides, if anything, it's picked up in the second half. They've gotten more tired. The defense has gotten better. So we'll see if they can continue this last minute 30.
6-point game, under a minute 30 left now. Kale on the drive, gets to the rim, and no good. Tapped out. Erke now running on the break. Connigan coming, and they call the foul on Connigan, and that will be 2 free throws now for Erke. Kale got to the rim like he wanted, just couldn't quite kiss it off the glass. And a minute 19, got to hope for 2 misses here from Erke. As with a 30-second shot clock, you got to think the Warhawks are about to start fouling, trying to prolong this game. Erke just went 1-1 in his last trip to the line, last time down the floor. And misses another one. Lead remains at 6. Hope remains in the hearts of these Warhawk fans, trying to avoid falling to 2-7 in the conference. With 6 games left, 2-7 would probably be almost insurmountable, as Erke misses both. Kale bringing it up now, looking for the play.
Gonna need a 3 here.
On the drive, and that was a foul on Nelson. As the floater drops, of course, that one goes in for Kale. Third foul on Nelson, 16, so they'll be in the bonus. The Warhawks, I should say, will be in the 1-1 on the next foul here. Minute 12. Warhawks running out of time. Hunt has it up top. Kale now. Chisholm setting the screen. Kale now looking to drive. Breaks the Kerner down. No look past the Hunt, and 1. And Hunt gets the bucket and the foul. Great pass there from Kale. Another no-look dime down to Hunt. And the strong finish. Another foul on Nelson. That's 4 on him.
And I mentioned they'd like 3 this possession, and they said, we'll get it the old-fashioned way. You know, we haven't really been knocking down from 3 necessarily this season, but great play by Kale. Shots hasn't been falling all game, but to pull out the no-look, and nice no-look, might I add, pass late in the game, very clutch. Big play by Kale. That's what you want your guard to do. You want him to be relentless.
And Kale, like we said, struggling from the field, but managed to have 5 assists as Hunt knocks the free throw down and cuts the lead to 3. Warhawks picking up full court as he gets it into Nez. Nez over to Bublitz, and they'll break the press, and they call from all the way across the court. They call the foul there.
And that's one of those that hurts for Coach Miller.
Really,
you know,
really
when
hurts.
the guy at the other side, the ref at the other side of the court is making that call instead of the ref right next to it is incredibly shocking.
Yep, that's going to be on Connigan. Bublitz, the Pointers' best free throw shooter, now headed to the line. 58.6 left. And Miller arguing that They've been playing physical up top the entire game, so why call it now? Bublitz knocks down the first free throw.
The Pointers have done their best to keep the Warhawks in this game as far as free throw shooting has gone for the majority of it, so it'll be interesting to see if they can hit them down the stretch.
And Bublitz knocks down both calmly. 22 points for Bublitz, 58.6 left. Warhawks down by 5, 71-66 to score as Kale brings it up. Almost loses it, gets it back. Chisholm setting the screen. They wanted a carry, they didn't get it. Kale now, and one. Nope, they did not call a foul as he crashed to the floor. I thought for sure they'd call a foul there, but they didn't. And a circus shot and a bucket for Kale. 50 seconds left. A nice quick score there for the Warhawks and a timeout by the Warhawks.
That is the definition of tough by Bailey Kale. I mean, we've been talking about it. He hasn't been shooting well this game, but you want your guard to keep that aggressiveness throughout the whole game, and for him to make that circus shot, not get the foul call, no complaints, you don't want to get a tee. That's just big down the stretch, and wow, that's tough.
Great take there from Kale to cut the lead back down to 3. The Pointers fans behind us were looking for a carry when Kale had it up top on the initial drive. Nonetheless, the refs did not call it, and it will be Pointers ball coming out. 50 seconds left. It's a 30-second shot clock. Got to wonder, do the Warhawks think about fouling here? Maybe try to get a quick trap and then try to prolong this game out as far as they can? Or do you just say, do you trust your defense, say we can get one stop and we can get one look at 3 here? With 20 seconds left, if the Pointers, which I can imagine they'll take the shot clock all the way down. But just an awesome game, very back and forth. Warhawks showing no quit. This young team, a lot of freshmen playing a lot of big minutes right now. Kale and Hunt, the sophomore and junior combo, the second and third leading scorers for the Warhawks, have been big in this second half. Gates has been big in the second half. Really everyone. Chisholm. The list goes on, and we'll see if the Warhawks have enough for this comeback effort. They led by as much as 13 in the first half, but the momentum shifted firmly to the Pointers, who led by as many as 12 in the second half. Warhawks fighting back. And timeout. And then they call the travel. They called the travel on Nelson as he took a step and got caught in the corner. He wanted a timeout. Instead, the travel is the call. Nelson cannot believe it. Semling cannot believe it.
I saw him take a little extra step. Pointers, that's a 30-second of that whole play. And for the ref to be able to make that decision was unbelievable.
Yeah, and a big call there goes in favor of the Warhawks. Now 48.5. You don't need a 3 here. A 3 would be nice as we got the replay coming. That was a big-time play. Let's see if we got a good angle on it. Oh, yeah, we got a perfect angle right here as Nelson catches it. And, yeah, you see the little shuffle of the feet there. Ref, I thought for sure he was calling timeout. You see Miller on the replay wanted to travel and got it. And that's a timeout from the Pointers here, trying to set up the defense. And what a turn of events that we were talking about. Do you try to D up for one possession? You figured Pointers would take the shot clock all the way down. Instead, they travel immediately coming out of the timeout. And now 48.5 for the Warhawks to work with, down by 3. Just an instant classic here at Castle Gymnasium tonight as the Warhawks look to stay alive in the WEAC tournament picture.
And it was funny, I was actually just going to point out right before that play, this has to be your most intense press you've played all game. You have to be at your smartest, you have to think about everything that could possibly happen, all the in-game situations that are going on, which of course coaching helps that a lot. And for that to be the mistake that could potentially turn this game is wild.
And Hunt, you got to tip your hat to Hunt on that defensive effort. He was just all over the inbounder, and then as soon as Nelson caught it, Hunt swarmed to him to trap him in the corner. Nelson panics and travels, and now it'll be Warhawk ball, 48.5 left. Kale catches it, thinks about the 3, decides against it. Hunt now back to Kale, and they're going to set up the offense. Chisholm sets the screen. Kale to the rim, and he finishes. Athletic scoop shot there from Kale. Pointers get it in quickly. And the ball wildly thrown, but Nelson corrals it. Almost a turnover there for the Pointers. Bublitz trying to draw the foul. Nez gets it to Bublitz. And Miller is irate. He wanted Nez to shoot the free throws. Gates stayed on him but did not foul. And I can see why, as Nez is a 64% free throw shooter. He had the ball for a good, 5 seconds there. Up top, Miller's screaming foul. Gates couldn't quite hear him. It's getting pretty loud in here down the stretch. And now Bublitz, 25.4 left. Bublitz will be shooting 2. 1 point lead for the Pointers. Bublitz, their best free throw shooter, the man they want at the line, their leading scorer. And he calmly knocks down the first one.
I just can't believe the Pointers broke that press break. I mean, that pass from the sideline, basically sideline to sideline pass over half court, somehow doesn't get intercepted. Very ill-advised. But just credit to the Pointers. I mean, found a guy and took a chance.
And a timeout is called by Pat Miller. Pat Miller wanted a timeout after the first free throw. Ref couldn't relay it in time. And we are going to take a short commercial break here, and we'll come back with the last 25 seconds. Warhawks down by 3. This is Warhawk men's basketball live on UWW TV.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Not only providing on-air learning opportunities for broadcast journalists and electronic media production students,
but educating and entertaining our audiences with award-winning news, live sports coverage, original programming,
as well as dedicating the mission to developing creative collaborations throughout campus.
For more information, visit our website, our 24/7 stream, and like us on Facebook.
Check us out because you got to see what's on UWW TV.
And we are back here at Catchell Gymnasium. Warhawk men's basketball, a good old-fashioned WEAC brawl here tonight. 73-70, the Pointers lead. 25.3 left on the clock. They added 0.2 seconds there during that timeout. Warhawks will have the ball, down by 3. Do you look to take the 3 here right away, Parker, or would you try to get the quick 2?
I think the way this game has gone, the chaos of this game, I think you take your 2, you take your points. The Pointers, who have been good from the line very recently, struggled a bit early on. Maybe you foul someone who's not quite as good as them.
And so it will be the Warhawks passing it in now. Kale bringing it up, 24-23. Got to think Kale will probably take this last shot. Step back 3 up and an air ball out of bounds, and it will stay with the Warhawks. 16.6 left. That might have been tipped. I'm not quite sure. But nonetheless, the Warhawks with the ball, still down by 3. And it will be Gates to bring it in here. Kale trying to get it. They go up top. Bublitz on him. Kale on the drive. The shot goes up and in. Quick 2, just like Parker said. Hunt now on the ball. Timeout by the Pointers. No panic there from the experienced senior Erke, who's had a great game, like I said, for the Pointers. We're going to stay right here, but Erke, who the inbounder was there, smartly calling the timeout. He's got...
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this game goes. I said they should get the quick 2. They did. So now we'll see. You got to, again, come out with an aggressive press, play every possible passing lane you can, read the defense as best you can, and if it comes to it, you try and foul whoever you can. Obviously, you got to be looking at the scouting report before this game, seeing who can shoot free throws, who can't. The players know, they have in mind who they should and shouldn't foul, so it should be interesting to see if they are able to on this possession.
And there's only 3 guys for the Pointers that have shot free throws tonight. Nelson, 6 for 6 from the line. Bublitz, 9 for 10. Erke is the 3rd person that shot free throws. He's 5 for 10 from the line. And like I said earlier, Nez about a 64% free throw shooter. So Erke is going to take it out. They're going to try to take the ball out of his hand as far as shooting free throws is concerned. You're going to try, I'm sure, to foul Nez here if possible. I'm sure that the Pointers are going to try to get it in to Bublitz, their best player and best free throw shooter. And an interesting note here, since the Pointers called that timeout, I believe that they will not be able to run the baseline. That's going to be big, as Hunt's going to be able to, or maybe they actually, never mind, they are going to be able to run the baseline because it was off the make. So we got Erke bringing it in, Hunt on him, full court press on here, 12.4 left. Warhawks looking to get a steal. Erke tries to get it in, and he does to Nelson. And a foul, quick foul there from the Warhawks. It was Kale. again, the Pointers just keep catching it in very dangerous spots. Catching it in the corner. Again, there was Nelson this time. Does not travel, stays strong with it, and gets the foul, and will head to the line for 2.
Yeah, I actually thought that was a pretty good press there by the Warhawks. Played pretty good defense, and I've seen that specific play not called this game, that block. I was going to suggest they play aggressive defense because the refs have actually been pretty lenient on things, at least for the beginning of the game they were. So I think that late down this stretch, when the Warhawks get the ball back, obviously depending on the point total, you dig into the back of your playbook and you pull out the play that you've been saving all year. This is the most, basically up until this point, the most important game of the season, positioning in the WEAC-wise.
And the Warhawks have hit a couple of game winners so far this year. The one that sticks out in my mind was Riley Jensen in the 4th overtime down in Beloit right before Christmas break. Hit a turnaround fadeaway at the buzzer for the win. And that was at a time where they really were desperate for a win. They were struggling. It's been a hot and cold season for the Warhawks. We were curious about which team was going to show up. The team that's playing very tough, very, very good basketball was the one that showed up for the Warhawks tonight. And we'll see if they're going to be able to pull this out and win it, or at least send it to overtime at the very least. Down by 1, 9.6. It'll be Garrett Nelson headed to the line for the Pointers. Incredible game from Nelson, especially in the second half, knocking down 3 after 3. He's got 17 points, 4 boards, 3 dimes. However, he does have 5 turnovers. 6 for 6 from the free throw line, though. That's the biggest stat to take away, as he'll head to the line for these 2. He is second on the team in free throw percentage at 78. Sorry, third on the team. 78% free throw shooter. And he'll have 2 here.
And I would like to say that I have been very impressed at the play of Bailey Kale late in this game. You know, to be that cold for most of the game and be able to hit big shots down the stretch is huge.
Nelson with the pressure on. Goes straight through on that first free throw. Calm as a cucumber up there. And he's going to look to push it back out to 3 points. Offensive rebounding has been an issue for the Warhawks all night. We'll see if they can make sure to block out. And they corral the miss. 6, 5, 4. Kale on the drive. 3, 2, 1. He's going up with it. Oh, and he misses at the buzzer. And the Pointers escape. Kale had the look. Kale had the look and couldn't quite get it to fall to force overtime. Wow. What a finish here. What a game. Pointers escape Castle's Gymnasium with the victory. I mean, Kale with the hard drive there. He had the look. It looked like it might go in, but it just clanked off that left rim, shot over to the right, and that is your ball game. Warhawks fall 74-72 to the Pointers. Unbelievable ending.
Yeah, and, you know, it's fitting that I should mention Bailey Kale right before that shot doesn't fall. But let me just keep giving him more credit. I mean, a lot of his shots look good at the end of the game, and especially that no-look pass down the stretch.
And we are going to send it over to Hansen with...
Getting through that half. We just got to be more disciplined. We hurt ourselves. The technical was really costly. That really turned the rhythm of the game, and it was his 5th foul. So we played the half without him. So, you know, we have to be more disciplined in our approach. I'm proud of the guys, the way they fought back. You know, we were down 10, I believe, got it back and got a good shot there at the end, just didn't make it.
Yeah, what are the positives that you bring out of this game for your next game on Saturday?
You know, it's been a similar story for us where we're in games and we're not winning games because we make too many mistakes. So it's the same thing. We have to clean those things up, stop self-imploding, and doing, you know, that technical is probably a 4-point swing. And, you know, that's obviously a big deal in a 2-point game.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Coach.
All right.
Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Hansen. And like Pat Miller said there, a lot of self-inflicted wounds tonight. You know, that's pretty typical of a young team. We got some stats coming up on the screen now as the Warhawks fall to 2-7 in conference and 7-13 overall. I mean, 44% from the field, 28.6 from 3. That's typical of where they've been at for the season. The big story in the second half was that run that the Pointers made from deep, 9 of 20, 45%. I mean, for them to hit 5 more threes than the Warhawks, that's a big difference. And to go to the line, I mean, 28 times they headed to the line to just 9 for the Warhawks. Foul trouble was an issue the whole second half. Just a tough loss for this young Warhawks team who, like Miller said, has been in a ton of games down the stretch. A lot of 2-point losses, a lot of 4-point losses, but unable to pull it out tonight.
And you saw from the bench points on that graphic right there, clearly the Warhawks had way more, and they were deeper. And we knew that coming into this game. We knew the Pointers would only play around 7 to 8. And you could tell you could tell early in that first half, or the second half, the way that the Pointers were just going to come out and take control of the game. They took momentum. A guy I got to point out, Blake Erke, I just noticed his presence on the court was way different in the second half compared to the first half. He came out in the second half. He's making plays on defense, on offense. He's getting tough rebounds. And it's those tough plays, those momentum-changing plays that can turn the tides of a game and a season.
As we got some scores around the WIAC, Eau Claire pulling off the big upset at Oshkosh, 78-76 the score there. River Falls fought off a halftime deficit to take care of Stout, 96-77. And Platteville up on La Crosse. That one is yet to go final, but they're up 10. I can imagine that game's probably pretty late in that one. And so, standings-wise, River Falls wins. They go to 4-5 in conference. Warhawks lose, go to 2-7. Uphill climb here with 6 games left. I mean, they still got to play Platteville and Oshkosh. A tough one here tonight. Pointers pull it out 74-72. And UWW-TV has more men's basketball coverage coming to UWW-TV this Wednesday when the Warhawks host UW Platteville. Game time is at 7, but tune in at 6:30 in the evening for Warhawk Sports Wednesday. Your exclusive home for Warhawk Sports is right here on UWW-TV. For Parker Renzer, Corey Moen, Hanson McIlvain, along with our entire field crew, I'm Kobe Brault saying thank you for joining us. This has been a special sports presentation of UWW-TV.
Thank you for watching this special sports presentation on UWW-TV.